Hello, hi, and welcome. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Have a seat. Take a load off. I didn't have my microphone ready. Sorry, guys. But if you're new to the channel, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. You can call me either or. And welcome to the channel. We do talk all things true crime. Do that daily here, except for I did take a little bit of time off. Oh, and I forgot to change my banner back. Hold on one second. Sorry. I was looking at this other logo and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So sorry about that. But anyway, if you are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome only one time, only one welcome. Welcome back. That's all you're getting. I'm just kidding. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. I haven't said the 3 welcomes in a while. I used to say that a lot. I still say welcome though. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Oh, thanks, Ert. Share it in my Discord. I need to get a Discord. I think I need it. I think I need a Discord now because it seems like everybody's got one but me. Sorry, I have a cable under there. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Cheryl. How you doing? Finally alive. I know, right? I'm back. Hey, CJK. Hey, Butterfly Angel. So I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering that too. Let me start your comment because I didn't put that in my notes for tonight, and I'm wondering about the whole PI thing myself. I was listening to JLR earlier. I don't know if that's who you guys were listening to, but Seth came out and did an interview last night with Banfield. I actually posted the interview on a video today, and then they brought it back and they were going to block it. They were going to block it. They were going to just like run no ads on it. And I'm like, well, I didn't have very many views on the video. So I was like, I'm just going to delete the video because I'm going to play it tonight. And I am going to pause it every couple of seconds because News Nation never does that. But we're going to make sure they don't get us tonight. But he did say something about like having having PIs. Now, I don't know if he's like living in La La Land and like pretending like he's back, 2 or 3 months ago when he did have 2 PIs working for him. And he's still trying to play on that mindset because we all know this stuff in YouTube. We know the dirty stuff that's been going on, but these 2 fools, Tony and Seth, they may actually think that mainstream media doesn't know any of it. They may actually think that way. I hope not, but they probably do. Hey, Teresa, welcome in. Still welcome in, people. I was just talking as I'm doing it. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Tammy. It's good to see you guys. Hey, Dreamcatcher. Hey, Catherine. Oh, you're welcome. I'm not sure who it was, me or Mary Beth. I know she was gifting some the other night too. Hey, Texas Jewish dog mom. We're gonna get you the tea. Hopefully, we'll have some tea. Sure, I'm fire. How can you both be 13? There we go. 14, 12, too. Look at that. I must have been 12. hit the like, and I told you guys to put the number in. I was trying to keep you guys on your toes. Hey, Danielle. I didn't even expect to take time off. I just took one day off, and it was like my brain was feeling a little better. I was like, oh, okay. So I came out of the fog a little. And then last night, I think that was the first time I was back in a chat in like 4 days or something. I didn't go live. Much Discord is my boyfriend said he would teach me how to do a Discord. I have the app on my phone, but I've never had it. This is the first I've heard about PIs again. Yeah. So yeah, I think that Seth might be living back in the past again, and he's wanting to make it sound a little better than what it is. I don't think he has any PIs. Personally, I don't. Maybe there's someone out there that wants to work for him and they're staying under the radar and they're doing everything by the book like they should. But I know PIs that are by the book that come out and talk about the cases that they cover. They just do. So it's a private investigator for you, but they don't really need to be private about anything. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was nice to take some time off. And it's been so hot this week, y'all. Is it hot where you guys are? Sidebar, but it has been over 100 here. I can't believe it. It's been so much. It's been so hot. So I do have a lot of stuff to pull up tonight because you go down this rabbit hole and here it goes. Yes, SG. So we did it last night. We did her podcast last night and the video version came out today. Yeah, so yep, so last night we did Nancy Grace. It was really late. Sorry, Nancy, she's over there. She didn't get her time to shine. 95. See, it's going to be like 90, I think 92 at like 10 a.m. tomorrow. And I'm like, when am I going to swim? I like to swim, in the summer. That's what we do. I live in Ohio. But we will be covering Chelsea Grim case tomorrow. I want to get back into her whole case and I want to dig in deep. And I did the FOIA, back when. And the last scheduled live I checked, it was December 27th was when we were supposed to do our last live over Chelsea Grim. So that's my fault. I should have done it. I want to get a hold of somebody. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a reply back to see if what I want to talk about tomorrow, if that's what I want to talk about. So that's what we'll do, but we will be talking about Chelsea Grim. I figured we'll like bounce off, every other day, do like a different case and then do Chelsea Grim and just kind of keep them to like a few cases. That way everybody knows the ins and outs of the case. And you guys can always let me know what cases you would like for me to cover the most. So, but tonight we're going to cover Sebastian, and let me pull up his flyer because that's what we do before every live, or before we start the live. We do this. Yes, that's what it is over here, or it's over 100. You're in Ohio too, Lindsay? Ohio's for lovers. Wasn't that our saying? That Ohio's for lovers? Maybe not. No, it's Virginia. Oh, our saying now is it's something crappy. It's like you're here or something. Our slogan. It's a new one. I don't know. We pulled it up one night. It was pretty bad. But that's Ohio. Yeah, it's been extremely hot in Ohio. I don't know what this weather is, but it's got to go. I wonder if it's hot like this in Hendersonville. So tonight we are going over, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We talk about his missing flyer before every live. It seems right about now there's not a lot of new updates. It's been almost 4 months, and there are no new updates into the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. But tonight I want to cover Seth's team, which I'm just including Tony, Mathis, and Bullhorn Betty because that's his team right there. But as you guys know, Sebastian is from Hendersonville, Tennessee. He went missing from Sumner County in Hendersonville off of Stafford Court. He was last seen wearing a black long sleeve t-shirt, black pants, and Sebastian is autistic. We have heard that he likes to hide under things. So I don't think he's probably in the neighborhood anymore, but they were asking people and neighbors to look under their porches, crawl spaces, things like that. But if you have seen Sebastian or you think you have any information, you can always reach out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838 or TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. And I will put this scrolling at the bottom of the chat as well. So that way, let me see. Okay, they're both the same. I have a couple one here, so like I said, it's been almost 4 months. There's no new updates, but Seth and Tony went on Banfield last night, and man, y'all, let me remove that. They went on Banfield. Did you guys see the Banfield episode? Because Banfield was looking kind of rough last night. Like, I don't know. She looked tired. She looked something. I don't know. Maybe she was like, these guys ain't fooling me. I don't know. If you haven't seen it, you'll see it tonight. And she just doesn't like have that spark about her, I don't know what it is. Ooh, we could. Yeah. Hey, Tracy. Welcome in, everybody. Three-piece bathing suit? Okay, ma'am, I'm over here in the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm like, what? I just got a new bathing suit too, and it was blue. I don't ever do blue, but y'all been like, you said you liked me in the blue, so I've been buying more blue. I know it's because of you guys, because I would have never picked out a blue bathing suit, but I did. But yeah, so Seth and Tony, they went on Banfield last night. I'm wondering if Tony was feeling a little something way because he was saying that he was wanting Brian Enton, and then he gets Ashley Banfield. I wonder if he was cool with that because it's all about Tony. But I want to remind you guys just how great of a PR guy that Tony is, he has come out and put out 4 major allegations and lies right out the gate. They were proven to be downright false and inaccurate. The investigators actually called it garbage. He created #WienerGate 2024. But overall, I think he's a fraud. I think he's a fraud in my book. He's been trying to get into true crime for a long time now, and he's weaseling his way in there. I guess this is a new way to do it. This is a new way to do it, I have to say that. I have to say I've never seen anybody weasel the way in like this. Spokesperson. It's a new one. Absolutely atrocious. Yes, Danielle, absolutely. He's a new one. He's something else. I've been trying to get him I have like another account for like TikTok. And so I've been trying to like see if they go on there, but I haven't seen them in a while. What's going on? Is the team breaking up over there? But let's see here. What did I want to show you? Oh, I want to show you just a little bit about Tony, Let's just review Tony for a second. Where's he at? Okay. So this is from the other day. Let me put me up here. This is from, let me see what day this is from. Actually, I can't tell you. I can tell you. This is from the 12th. So this is just from a week ago. So it's not like Tony's a changed person in a week. But this is what we went over. We went over this when it happened, but it's the conversation that went between Trevor Lee, which is the creator Trev Time on YouTube, and Tony Mathis. So, in my opinion, I don't know Trev Time or Trevor Lee that well, but from what I've gathered, I do think he's a good person, and he's trying to do the right thing. I followed him through another creator because he would go on her panels, and that's how I would know him before this case. So I just know his personality before Sebastian, and I do believe he's, a good person. But Tony Mathis had a little bit of something to say, Ziggy, you are a superstar. 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 Why do we have all the trolls come in? They're never the real people. Now, if we get a fake Nancy Grace up in here, I'm going to be mad. Because I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to think my lady's here to see me, finally. I'm going to pull out the cardboard cutout. Don't do me like that. Ziggy, don't you do that. Don't you change your name. Okay. Sorry, I had to mess with the fake Ziggy account for a minute. Thanks, Phantom Growler. I did that on purpose. Your banner matches your top. Mad props. I used to do it off every live, and then I forgot about it for a while. I don't know. Just matchy. Let me see if I can get this a little bit closer for us. Yes, I can. Okay. So it says, and this is from Trev Time to Tony Mathis. So Trev Time's going to be in the blue, and then Tony is going to be in the black or whatever. And it says here, Tony Mathis, I write this to you in your official capacity as Seth Rogers spokesperson. And this is when the cease and desist were going out to everybody. Let this please serve as my written notice that my efforts to find Sebastian will not cease. Many have said you guys plan to serve me with a cease and desist and possibly a suit to follow. I will not be scared into being silent, nor will I be silenced by clear abuse of the civil system. So again, let this serve as official notice that I will continue my efforts towards the safe return or recovery of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And he replies back to that. That's not me. That's just saying, hey, I know that you're sending out these cease and desist, and I'm not going to cease and desist. I'm just letting you know. And it says here, I'm not under contract. Send your bullshit to him and quit being a trouble-causing, whiny little bitch. You continue to be scared to take your drama to him. You are pathetic. What? Maybe in these kind of cases, maybe Seth should have got a lawyer, like a Shannon Gray, the Gonzalez's attorney. He talks on their behalf. Why didn't he do that? Anything is better than this. Sorry if you guys can't see that very well. I can't tell if you can or not. Actually, let me see. Probably not. You're probably like, can't even read it. There, I should have did that. I'll do that with the next one. Sorry about that. Because there's more. Just a couple more messages. It says, and then he writes back, this is Trev Time. Children name call when they don't have a point to make, but I digress. I didn't do anything to you, and you misdirected anger is very weird. I can't help that people don't think you're a good PR guy. I was simply sharing with you that I have no plans to cease or desist. You have been the person speaking about these letters, so I contacted you. Sebastian deserves a lot better than this, a lot better than your games. I think we can all agree on that. Agree to agree. And then this one's actually pretty. So then it says, you're a very disgruntled little crybaby. Boo-hoo. This is what Tony Mathis says. He's what, 45, 47? I know he's older than that, but he's not older than that, but I think he'd be lying. I didn't have enough value to keep from getting fired by a grieving father. You see, he knew you, unlike me, and thought you brought no value. You proved his point by stirring up high school girl drama on social media after you were booted. You're a child yourself. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? You proved his point by stirring up high school girl drama on social media. Dude, you're on TikTok with women every night, aged 19 to 22. Can't tell me nothing. You're a child yourself trying to use another child for platform gain. A sad little guy you are. And that's not the truth. I mean, he wasn't using Sebastian for platform gain, in my opinion. I mean, he was already covering other cases and his channel was growing. It was growing. I feel like these guys want to always be like, well, we did that. We helped you with that. If we didn't do that, you wouldn't have gotten this. Like, no, we were doing okay over here. We were doing okay. Hey, patriotism. Hey, Kara, welcome in, everybody. Yeah, he is. And I like the Paul pads on after your name. That's really cute. Because he certainly is a suspect, according to him. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. He said it himself. And then I know that there is a picture that was circulating with Katie, Chris, and Faith. They were eating, I guess, at a restaurant. We talked about it last night a little bit. We were just, covering just random stuff. Personally, I wouldn't be able to cook a meal in my home. No, I wouldn't be able to cook a meal. I would know that I'd have to eat. I would have to eat, but I would be going out to eat. I'd be ordering DoorDash or something along those lines, But I definitely don't think that I would be able to be cooking any food in my own home, knowing that my son is somewhere, I don't know. Just I know that you're eating at a restaurant, same thing, but it's not. To me, like there's like a disconnect. If you just go to the restaurant, you're just eating, you're just trying to get through a meal and get home. But I think people have been really, really hard on them for that. And no picture should have been out there of Faith. That little girl is not involved in this. She is, but she's not. I mean, she's his sister, so of course. But it's just, I don't know. She shouldn't be involved in this. She's so young. Like that's just too young. I photo of Katie was first on TikTok before hitting YouTube. Was it really? Man, I need to get over on the TikTok. I've been telling Vince I need to get back over there. I need to get back over to doing more TikToks. They're fun. I don't know. I always do random stuff. I'm all over the place when I'm over there, but I'm all over the place over here. So that'd be fun. So, let me go over to, so what we're going to do, I wanted to go over those messages because I think that that's telling. And now we're going to watch the interview that Ashley did with Seth and Tony Mathis. If I do that again, shut me down, YouTube. I'm like, shut me down. I don't know if you guys have all got a chance to see this. It's like 6 minutes. I'm going to be pausing this because they be being crazy today about some stuff. I wonder where the sign's exactly at. I didn't notice that before. Sebastian Rogers. It looks like it's somewhere in Hendersonville, obviously, but I wonder if it's like when you're coming into town, I'm assuming. Like, would you notice that driving down the road? I don't think I would even notice that. That sign's so small. Okay. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it so much. If you guys don't mind, just taking a second, hit the like button. Let's get into the algorithm, get more people to watch the content, and just get the content further out there for more people to see, you know, especially people that don't live in the US that don't get to see these things.
Now by Sebastian's father.
Oh yeah, and look at Ashley. She looks like she's tired or something. I don't know. Something is with her eyes tonight. She just looks like she's exhausted.
Seth Rogers and his spokesperson, Tony Mathis. Thank you to the both of you. And Seth, I'm really so sorry that, you know, here we are having this conversation with News Nation again about your son, Sebastian, and it's been all these months. Do you have any updates? Have you heard anything, any leads, anything at all from the police?
No, ma'am, I haven't. Every lead that I do come across, I have my private investigators searching into it.
Every lead I come across, I have my private investigator looking into it. What do you mean you don't? What do you mean, Seth? You take that to the investigators that are on the case, the TBI, Sumner County Sheriff's Department. You tell them to what? Are these the calls that are coming in, the tips on the tip line, the Google Voice line? I think Ashley's not believing this.
And have they come up with anything? Have they been helpful?
Well,
thank you, Mary Beth.
We've had pictures and stuff come in.
Thank you.
My private investigators track it down, and then we find out that it's just another rabbit hole. Sumner County.
What was a rabbit hole? What was the last thing that you went down a rabbit hole with? I want to know. Was it the glasses that was found way back, you know, like 2 weeks into the investigation? Was it the pants that were found that were, you know, by a YouTuber? I'm curious.
I give them all the tips that I get. Just not really.
And so when you give them the tips that you come up with your private investigators, are they thankful? Do they indicate to you that this is helpful? Do you have a good relationship with the police? Do you feel like they're on your side, that they're working hard?
That's what they're conveying to me.
So that means they're talking to them. They're saying they're doing my job. We're doing our job.
But
I can't imagine how hard this must be.
I'm not seeing my son's not here. This is my first Father's Day. What made me a father is not here.
Did anyone send Seth Rogers anything for Father's Day? A teddy bear? Maybe, I don't know, make him a mod in your chat. Something for Father's Day. Because I'm sure that was a hard day. That was a hard day on me. And I'm not even a father.
I'm so sorry. I am just so sorry. If there's, you know, anything we can do, we'll keep the story, you know, in the news. What's so bizarre is that Katie and Chris packed up and left that home. Are you?
You know, it's actually bizarre, Ashley Banfield. All the pictures that we see of Sebastian's, like, you know, we're giving out flyers, we're posting flyers, we're doing flyers. It's only been that vigil with the bikers, and the vigils that they've held is where that's the only time I've seen a flyer passed out or put up by anybody. I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong because I mean, yeah, I could be. Has anyone seen anybody putting flyers out, like posting actual missing flyers? Because people over in Hendersonville are saying that they weren't seeing them. So I don't know.
Are you contact with them at all? I know originally they weren't talking to you at all. They weren't sharing information, which also seemed bizarre to me. Even if a split up is acrimonious, you still have this shared goal, right? To find your boy. Has it gotten any better between you and Katie in terms of sharing info?
It doesn't feel like a shared goal. It sure doesn't feel like a shared goal.
Wow.
It feels like it's only my goal and all of Sebastian's army. It's their goal.
Now, it's a little bold, Seth. It's a little bold. Nobody cares but me. Nobody cares but me. What? What in the fiddlesticks is that? Oh, Terry Lynn, does she put them out? I know she's out there searching. I didn't know she did the actual, flyers and stuff.
It's my goal to find.
And I'm not trying to be hard on Seth. I just got to pause it a lot for, commentary.
Sebastian. But as for contact between me and
I've seen the receipts for all the billboards.
There has been no contact.
Still nothing.
So I wonder when he says no contact, because we've heard him say before, well, they have my number. They know how to get a hold of me. Well, I wonder if that's the case. I wonder, I don't know. I'm wondering if, what if Chris reached out to Seth and Seth missed the message? Would Seth call him back? Or would Seth sit there and wait for him to call again? Does that make sense? And yeah, he may be on the spectrum. Sorry, I have some of the messages I have to approve. Sorry about that, guys.
So I'm the only one that misses my son.
Oh no.
Let me ask you, Tony, if you can jump in here. I know that you and Seth asked for the FBI to engage, take over, become a part of the case. Where has that gone, if anywhere?
Well, as you well know, Ashley, it's only going to go somewhere if the Sumner County asks for them to take the case over. And kind of where we're at and where I've been all along is I just want them to answer one simple question for Seth. And I feel like that he deserves an answer to this question. Are they closer today than they were February 26th? And if the answer to that is no, or we can't get an answer, then I think it's only logical that the case be elevated.
Yeah, it seems, what are we? I think 114 days. I understand that investigators can't always share everything. But do you feel, Tony, that at least they have been, I don't know, optimistic or helpful or hopeful, or at least been keeping Seth up to speed on what they're doing?
I think that we feel like that the communication could always be better. And, let's put you or I as a parent in session.
Well, you can put him as a parent all you want, but he said himself he's a suspect. He said himself, I'm a suspect. So why would the cops tell you anything? Cops, investigators, not that that I've seen anyway on TV, through my schooling, they usually don't do that.
Shoes. If they can't give you an answer to the question, are you any further along today than you were 114 days ago? As a parent, are you not terrified to hear that?
I would like an answer to that, though. That is actually a decent question, Tony Mathis. I will give them that. That is a decent question. But they're not going to tell Seth anything if he's going around telling everybody he's a suspect. Yeah. Sorry, my dog was having a nightmare, I think, or a crazy dream.
I can't imagine it. Seth, if Sebastian can hear you, if he's out there, what's your message for him?
Same as it's always been. I need you to get away from whoever you're near. Get to a phone. My phone is still on, son. The same phone number. Everything. I need you to call me. I need you to call 911. I need you to tell who you are. then you need to tell them that you are wanted. I need you home. I need to know you're safe. I need you, buddy. You've always been my buddy, and you will always be my brother.
Now, we got to talk about that. What does he mean by you'll always be my buddy, you'll always be my brother? What's up with him and saying brother? Is this something that I don't know about? Is this a thing? Is this like a slang thing? Because he just said my brother. You'll always be my buddy, you'll always be my brother. Like, I'm gonna put these closed captionings on there.
I need you, buddy. You've always been my buddy, and you will always be my brother.
Stay strong, Seth. We got your back here. We're going to keep the story on the air. Somebody knows something, and there's going to be a lead that turns up.
It doesn't like say what he said, but I swear he says brother. Yeah, like I'm gonna start calling everybody brother. Kara Brave, hey brother. Hey Tracy Clark, hey brother. I don't really like it. I don't like it already. It's not me. But yeah, I'm like, because he even called T-Rev that. Remember when him and T-Rev were friends and everything was paradise? Yeah.
Up. In the meantime, we do want people to know, Seth Rogers and Tony Mathis, thank you for this. We do want people to know that if you have any information on the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers, please call the Sumner County Sheriff at 615-451-3838. Again, take a picture of your screen. I always say it's 615-451-3838. Thank you for watching. Go to new.
I swear I thought she had another minute. I was like not trying to get her to holler in your guys' ears because she'd be doing that all the time. She does the mostest. But so that was the interview that they just did last night. They just did that on Banfield. Another news agency that's like a local news, they picked it up and like just played their clips. But other than that, that's the newest interviews. Seth is back. And so is Tony Mathis. Now, put a 1 in the chat. If you were Seth Rogers, knowing what we know right now about Tony Mathis, like from what we've seen on the internet, put a 1 in the chat if you would continue a partnership with him. Put a 2 in the chat if you would fire him and be like, bye. So 1, if you would keep Tony Mathis on as your PR. A 2 if you wouldn't. Because I don't think anybody's going to be putting any 2s in there. Or 1s, I mean. -2. 0. Like, I mean, you would think that because he sees this stuff. He sees the internet. Is Tony going, man, you know, they're crazy on the internet? Like, is he saying that? Is he doing that? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Maybe he's doing something we don't know. But I was over on Twitter and I was just looking at, the usual suspects. So I was looking at, Seth's little team that he has going on. He has Bullhorn Betty on his side, and then he has Tony Mathis there on his side. A couple, people that can wreak some havoc. Now I wanted to show you something because I just thought it was fitting for tonight to see, so people know. But I was on Twitter and people are going pretty hard on Bullhorn Betty, and I could see why. But they're pretty much just playing her own words. That's all. Bullhorn is on her way to Tennessee. Well, she has said that she's been on her way when her car gets fixed sometime in the future. Maybe another 4 months from now, because we're almost 4 months into this case. But if you don't know who she is, you're going to find out a little bit about her tonight. So I pulled this article. I'm not going to read this whole article, but I'm just going to read up here. It says Bullhorn Betty slammed for threatening, and this isn't nothing personal with her. I'm just telling you the facts. Sarah Dreyer family with YouTube blackout after they asked for space to grieve. So that she threatened the family that she was going to make the whole internet stop talking about this person's case because she holds the power. She holds the key. Just because they wanted some space and they wanted to grieve. Now, I don't know anything about this case. I'm just reading off of what I've read online. If you type in her name, more things come up, but I thought this was pretty fitting. And this is a message from Sarah to Bullhorn. And Sarah says, and this is Sarah Dreyer. And if you guys know this case better than me, you could put it in the chat, like, you know. So it's another case, and it's one of her family members was, I believe, unalived. And so Betty ended up, you know, showing up like per usual and starting her shit per usual. And so I even could have pulled up the Quentin Simon case. Actually, I have videos on that, but I thought this was just kind of fitting because of what the words say. But it says here, there have been a few YouTubers coming by the house and trying to speak to the family. While we appreciate the platform and believe it is being used to help spread the word to help bring Sarah home, I guess she was a missing person. I read this earlier. I just must have misplaced in my mind. Sorry. It says, and word to help bring Sarah home, please respect the family's privacy. Don't film them or request to speak to them. This situation is unimaginable and they deserve to feel safe on their property. Additionally, if anyone who is out there and is approached by a YouTuber, please remember the information you may have should only be shared with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. Thank you all. Let's work together to bring Sarah home. Now I want to see. This is from Sarah Dreyer. Okay, this is from her account. So Bullhorn Betty commented, and it says, this is a while. I don't know exactly when this was. This isn't like something that's recent, but you know. Oh, you have it too. It says here, I'd like to first say that I'm sorry for what your family is going through. It also sounds like someone has provided you horrible information about the YouTuber out helping, and most of these people, we call them trolls and cockroaches. Never heard the word cockroaches before. I don't like the word trolls either. I don't know. I just don't like the word. We will make sure your case won't be covered on YouTube or other social media, and we'll make sure every social media personality knows to stay away from this case. And she's saying this to somebody that's looking for their active family member, active missing, family member. Clearly, mainstream media isn't help because I can barely find an article. My friend, a YouTuber, was out in the woods searching for your loved one for 2 days in this heat. I was out searching for JJ Rollin, and he was found. I'm a world famous YouTuber. I'm going to say that again. I'm a world famous YouTuber. Like the one helping search for your family. World famous. World famous. I mean, world famous. How many subscribers does Betty have? I mean, it doesn't matter. It does. It does. What, like 40, 30, 20? I don't know. I don't watch her, but man, I don't even think I could be Mr. Beast. And maybe I'm just like, I don't know, modest, but I could literally be Mr. Beast and I would not be saying I'm a world famous YouTuber. Like, look at me. I'm a world famous YouTuber. You know what I mean? Oh, wow. I'm sure your message hurt his feelings and his heartfelt efforts to help. I was going to join the efforts as well, but will refrain from doing so. I was going to come and help you search, but didn't. Remember when we had that happen with Sebastian's case? Who was that? Was it CJ that said that? He didn't get thanked for being there to search, but he searched anyway. It was one of those creators that was out there in the beginning. I do hope to see how this statement isn't helpful and will only hinder any help you may need in the future. I wish you the best, but my voice will tell all social media to stay clear from discussing or participating in this matter moving forward. Insulting people trying to help is sad, and I'll pray for you and your family. That wasn't insulting at all. This is not an insulting message up here. She's just wanting space. God bless, and I hope your family member is found. That is just her being an asshole. That YouTuber you insulted has helped locate 2 missing people in the last year and a half. Just an FYI. I wonder who he's talking about or who she's talking about. Who helped find 2 people? I want to know who helped find 2 people. She's famous for all the wrong reasons. Her and Seth do seem like 2 peas in a pod. Okay, I was just checking the chat. Sorry. Okay. So I wanted to show you this. And I think that's. Oh no, we're gonna go through. Okay, yeah. So I don't know who this is on here. Because somebody be going after Betty over on the TikTok. Or not TikTok, Twitter. I always say I'm going to say Twitter to the day that Twitter's done. X. I just won't ever say it. If you guys are, hip and cool, sorry, because I'm not hip and cool. But I was looking under the Sebastian Rogers, like I was looking on Twitter. This is how I kind of came across all of Betty. But I mean, I know about Betty, but I came across those things. But there's somebody on here that's going after her pretty hard, and they're followed by heels in the air. So that makes me like happy and sad at the same time. But I was going to show you some stuff that she had posted on here. Okay. This is a community post. Let me see something actually. Let me go over to YouTube and see if we can just go onto our community post. And thanks again for being here, guys. I appreciate it. How's everybody's week going? We are almost to the weekend. I think I said it was Friday earlier on one of my videos. Like, whoops. Sorry, I forgot what I was typing in for a minute. Okay, how do I go to our thing? Our page. Okay, 31.9. Yeah, okay, that's what. Okay, yeah, let's just share this here. Because this was on Facebook, I believe. I was just trying to see something else. I had something else up here pulled, but I was just seeing what I should show you first. Okay. So this is on her community tab. And I've heard that she's been on the community tab like the last few days, really going ham on the community tab. If you ever want to like find out something about a creator, if you ever want to know what kind of mood a creator's in, go to their community tab. I don't know. A lot of people put a lot of little clues out there. Also, let me know in the chat, especially if you're a creator, why people be deleting videos like a lot at a time. I'm just wondering, like privating them. Hey, Slim. Welcome on in. Okay, so we'll read this from old Bullhorn, and then I've got some.
If I go down that road and start,
Whoa, we don't want to hear her yet. It's on like 2 times speed too. We don't want to hear her voice until we have to. Absolutely have to. People are willingly and intentionally and with malice perpetrating and stating, "I'm going to protest at St. Jude's." That could not be further from the truth, and people are lying to you for clicks and views. Now, we do remember Betty putting body found, right, on her thumbnails and stuff. Sebastian Rogers tagged there. Whoever's telling you this stuff, please unsubscribe from their channel. They're trying to incite their audience. insight. If anybody has been watching me for any significant time, I'm no going to a completely different type of situation. When I go to protest, I'm going to protest because I reach out to law enforcement to make sure that they're there for the protest. Because wasn't it that time in Simon Quentin's case when you went there to protest and the cops weren't even there? It was like a holiday or something. Oh man, you always got to double check. Always got to double check. This has not happened, however. I am working on a protest for Layla Santanello case. And if anybody has a problem with that, it's their problem to have, not mine. And again, I will be reaching out to whom I need to reach out to when I coordinate the protest. Well, SF Investigates is working that case, and I don't think, yeah, y'all are butting heads over on the X on Twitter. Yes, I do fight for victims, and if anybody sits at home on their ass and wants to complain about it, can kiss mine. You ain't going nowhere, girl. You need your car fixed. It's funny to me. People love people out in the field, yet they support the communities that condemn the people out in the field while the people sitting at home collect thousands and thousands of dollars for their drug use. I use mine for victims. Thousands and thousands. Who's getting all this money? Who is getting thousands, guys? Seriously. What are we doing wrong over here on this channel? We're doing something wrong. Okay. Well, I don't know. Do I need to insert more ads or does it need to be one full ad? I'm just kidding with you guys. But really, where are these people getting it? I think I think YouTube creators, they fluff up what they make. They fluff it. Fluff it on up because y'all, I'm not even kidding you. Thousands and thousands for their drug use. Wonder who she's talking about. She's talking about somebody in particular there. She is talking about somebody in particular there. Just saying. Let's see what she had to say here.
If I go down that road and start knocking on doors and finding out nobody spoke to law enforcement, I'm gonna leave. I will probably go off. I probably will. So I pray to God that law enforcement was up and down Craftsman's home and collected some video evidence. But if I go down that road and start.
Also, she goes down the road and starts knocking on doors, asking if they've talked to police, and they tell them no, and tell her no. She's going to go do something? What in the world? What the heck? Yeah, she never helped locate nobody. Oh, man. The mother of all Karens. Does she live with her mom? It doesn't matter. But I thought I heard her like was on a live today. I went over there. It was like on one of these. I didn't go over there. It was just on one of these clips. And she looked like she was talking to somebody. I don't know if it's, I don't think she has a boyfriend or husband because, she just loves JLR so much. Yeah, we're not exploiting the families and the missing. Yeah, I know. Damn. Ain't got it in me. I ain't got it in me. We'll be on the poor side for a while. But you know what that means? We just once we get there, it's like, whoa, wow, we're here, And we did it the right way. So let's see what else is over here. Oh, I love that picture of her. I'm just going to go down here a little bit and just kind of see what's on the TikTok. This is the video I was telling you about earlier. It's the same video from News Nation. They just take clips from it. Oh, man, why they got her sped up so fast? That's not me, is it? No? Okay. Let's see what they say. Bullhorn Betty can incite her followers to stalk the prophets, but doesn't like anyone calling her bad behavior out. That's rich. And I think this has to do with Bullhorn and Cluminati are kind of going back and forth with each other. I don't know. Not my battle, but ooh, Bullhorn Betty.
And I just want to say this. I want to say this for the record. He's talking about people and YouTubers threatening him. Well, I'm going out there to search for his missing stepson. And right now I have a person that he asked for help. That he went to her channel and asked her for help. And now she is publicly threatening to do bodily harm to me. And everybody is blowing this off. We are true crime. We should denounce any type of violence.
What'd she say? She's going to do bodily harm. What did Clue say?
And you've got creators sitting here actually entertaining the masses, inciting the masses to injure another creator on this platform physically.
She was inciting a whole town of people for 30 days outside of Quentin Simon's home. A person was on hospice. They couldn't even die in peace. Now that's just when, and they knew it. We knew it. We knew it from the comfort of my damn home. I knew it. So they definitely knew it standing in the yard. Like, oh Lord have mercy.
And people think that is okay, and it is not. You may think it's fun and games, but you don't know what it's like being me. I have been stalked. I have been assaulted. My family has been, you guys have no idea. You think it's fun and games because you're on that end of this. I would love to see you on this side of it. So be careful what you say because people aren't like you and you may take it as a joke, but somebody else may not. You guys are playing with my life. You're inciting people to hurt me.
She's doing all this on her own.
You're looking for a missing child, and these are people associated with Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. Everybody kept saying people were getting threatened. People were getting threatened. Nobody knows where the threats are coming from. This, that, or the other. Well, I can tell you right now that I was threatened by somebody associated with Chris and Katie.
Okay, guys, seriously, this is a serious question. Really, how many parents, how many people in this chat, put a 1 in this chat if your mom, if your parents growing up or you yourself has this dining room chair. Everybody knows this dining room set. Everyone knows it. Put a 1 in the chat if you had this dining room set or if you have it still or if you grew up with it, because I did. And everybody I know did. Everybody. Let me know. This chair, you can only see the corner up here, but everybody had them chairs. They were the nicest ones. See, yeah, I knew I wasn't the only one. My mom had 8 of them bad boys with the leaf in the middle. Get the leaf out. Brother's coming with his 15 kids. Literally, there's 5 and one, like another one. Great niece. Yeah. What's a dining set? You have it, Angela? I'd give anything to sit at that dining set again. I really would. That's home right there. I ain't gonna lie, Betty. That chair ain't comfortable though. Those chairs, you put the little cushion on, it still ain't that great, you know? I thought I wasn't the only one.
And I take that very, very, very seriously. So I don't know if other people were threatened by people associated with Christopher and Katie Proudfoot, but I know I have been, publicly. And so I will be filing a complaint as soon as I get here. And I know this creator doesn't care about going to jail. It's pretty funny that you're in true crime, covering true crime, but don't mind committing crimes. And people go to you for their criminal news or for their criminal content. Or how to get away with murder. I'm just curious what type of content creator you are. I hope everybody goes over there and unsubscribes from her. And I hope everybody reports that video where she's publicly threatening me. I'm going out there to search for a kid. Don't try to get clout off my name. If I'm coming there to protest, I will be protesting, and there ain't a freaking thing that cow is going to be able to do about it. There's nothing their law enforcement's going to be able to do about it. But you come and touch me, you threaten me, you got some problems. You got some problems. And people supporting somebody acting and stating something that they're going to use violence against somebody else, going real life against another creator. Just advocating for a child. I haven't said nothing about this woman. I haven't attacked this woman. She has attacked me, and now she's physically threatening me. So if I see her there, I'm going to take it as a threat. If she comes around me, I'm going to take it as action on her words. And I will be immediately filing a restraining order against her. I do not play with my safety. You guys can talk your shit, but when you start threatening me, I will take action on that. And then for JLR's Facebook group to condone the action and support it, and then actually egg it on. My ex egging on the fact that I get physically assaulted.
She threw my ex. Is that what she said?
Ours Facebook group to condone the action and support it, and then actually egg it on. My ex egging on.
Betty. You know, things happen in life. Relationships work out and they don't work out. I couldn't imagine, being a little bit older. Couldn't imagine right now being 38 and being like, poof, there went my boyfriend, Yeah. You weren't the only one.
The fact that I get physically assaulted. But hey, he's a great guy, great Christian guy. Gotcha. Okay, perfect.
I mean, the song Area Codes by Ludacris was written just for JLR. The dude is everywhere across the country.
Perfect. They've had the ability to take it down, and they have chosen not to do so. I am
no,
considering filing a lawsuit against JLR at this point for everything he has done to me. And just get it all done. Because there's going to be more to come. Not just him. There's stuff that's going to be coming out of this other lawsuit I'm involved in that is going to also initiate some other things. And those people are already well aware that I am going to be suing them as well. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm just tired of the stuff. I'm tired of people thinking my life is disposable. I'm a human being. And I'm doing a job, and if they don't like it, that's their problem. But you don't get to physically assault me or intimidate me. This is America, and you cannot do that. This is not China. And if you want a ticket to China, we will sponsor.
She was like done when she starts talking about China. Wow, Betty, are you a little nervous? Did you meet your match? I think Betty met her match. Betty met her match because the girl of Clue, she ain't backing down. She ain't going to. she ain't going to. Yeah, for some reason I couldn't get it to. I can't slow. Well, I could slow it down, I guess, on my part. but I'll go through it with you guys too. Basically, you know, she's saying that people are threatening her if she comes to Tennessee. To me, this is just her way of getting out of going down there. Personally, I feel like that. Anyway, I feel like that. But man, yeah, Clue is she's a strong woman, and she don't, you know, she ain't gonna mess around. She'll be playing this tomorrow if she hasn't already played it. It's just a back and forth, you know, like right now with like, oh, I don't know. This video, this is on Twitter, so I can give you the let me give you the. Wait, is this gonna make me go all the way back? Oh, yep, it did. No, go. Oh, there we go. I'll put you to this person's. Let me give you this person's page because it looks like they do a lot of stuff with Bullhorn Betty. And that way, you guys can go check them out on Twitter. Yeah, I don't even think you need a Twitter account either to like look and stuff like that, and go over there and like look and all that. My money's on Clue. Mine too. Mine too. Mine too. Even Betty at her prime, I would still have my money on Clue. Yeah, that's what she's going to do, SG. She's going to say, oh, I couldn't go because, you know, Cluminati was saying stuff. And no, Betty, you can still go. You can go. You'll be all right. He makes a hypocrite. Yeah. You don't have a Twitter? I think you can get on there, though, even if you don't have one. I think that's how I think that can work like that. Oh, I don't. So when I came in on Kylie Rodney case, and I don't think I found out about her until Quentin, which was just a 2 months later. But when I did, boy, did I. We watched the whole madness. I was streaming it. Y'all, we didn't even have StreamYard then. We had like me on an iPad and you guys were watching the iPad. Oh, it was a mess, but we did it. We did it. Hey, Vivian. So let me, I wanted to show you this video and it's kind of long, but I don't know how, maybe we could speed it up a little bit. We'll see. So I was just searching the internet earlier and Web Sleuths had Steve Fisher on from SF Investigates. This was the other day. I didn't get to see this. I didn't even know this was out. But it's because I need to follow Web Sleuths. But BHB, Bullhorn Betty, and Steve Fisher from SF Investigates, they actually have like a lawsuit. I'm pretty sure they have a lawsuit going on between the two of them right now. It's not looking good for old Bullhorn Betty neither. So I thought we would watch this. I haven't got to see it yet. So we'll watch it together and see what it's about. But Steve is a private investigator. I think he's licensed in like 5 or 6 states, maybe more. But he's licensed in a few different states. He does like the SARS, search and rescue. He seems like he knows what he's doing. I follow him on Twitter. He's helped me with like the Chelsea Grimm case and stuff because he was out there searching for her. And if I've ever had any questions about even like Sebastian Rogers, you know, like he's not working that case, but if I had questions about like where they would search or what would happen, he's answered them. So we'll kind of just see what he has to say. And like I said, this is Web Sleuth. So I'm going to put this video in the comments for you guys if you guys wanted to go watch it. And thanks again for being here. We have 174 people in here. If you guys could all just give me one like, just hit it once, not twice. You know, that takes the like away. If you guys don't mind just hitting the like, that would be great. That would be great. That does help our small channels grow. You guys have the power to do that.
This time at least. And with us today, of course, is Insightful One, our executive producer. And we're bringing back one of our favorite guests, Steve Fisher. He goes by SF Investigates, SF_investigates on Twitter. And Steve, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're licensed in like 5 states as a private investigator. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background first?
Yes, I'm licensed in California, Arizona, Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama, and I've got a couple new states coming on. And then I'm also in search and rescue and on a couple law enforcement search and rescue teams. and a couple private teams. And, you know, I only work missing person cases.
And it keeps you quite busy, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, unfortunately. But it's nice to, you know, be able to help, you know, some of these families, because if they get thrown into these situations, they never think they'd be involved in, and they have no idea what to do, you know.
Well, exactly. And we've talked about this before. In a missing persons case or a murder case, you're going along in your normal life, and then boom, you are not only thrown in the spotlight, which is bad enough, but you have social media, which is a whole new animal, and it can be a monster.
Sorry, sidebar. Her dog has a lamb chop. My dog eats those little lamb chops for fun, and we get her one like twice a year because they're expensive, like $20 for the big one, and she likes to chew it in like 2 minutes.
It can eat you alive, and there's no book, there's no, you know, sheet that you can grab that tells you how to act. So I'm glad to see that you are helping families who are, in addition to going through a nightmare of whatever it is, a missing persons or a murder investigation.
Right.
And then
they don't even know where to start to look for. I mean, like, what do you Google to, you know, find a missing, you know, person? I mean, thankfully there's some of these big, you know, advocacy groups, big legitimate ones that you know, are really prominent, and they are able to find them. But you know, and then you got the dynamics of, you know, some of the family members, they don't all agree on the way to go about doing it, you know. And I was involved in a case that ended yesterday. We found the girl yesterday, but you know, they had very different opinions on how things should be done, and whether there should be social media or not be social media, or, you know, so it's tough for these families.
It is. And like you said, you have them arguing, and then I'll take it a step further. Sometimes they take to Facebook and they bring their personal arguments there, and they'll take and get their YouTube channel, and it becomes something that creates a rift for the rest of their lives.
Right.
I fully believe, Steve, that maybe in 50 to 75 years, people are going to look back at this time and go, God, Lord, that was the Wild West back then. There were no controls. I think at some point we're going to get this under control. One little thing I want to say, because I have to yap. You can't shut me up. Sometimes you can, but not tonight. I fully believe that one way to stop the rumors and to stop the baloney is to make people use their real name when they post this crap.
100% lady. I don't know her name. Web sleuth lady. Yeah. Okay. I can get down with that. If you want to come on this app and you want to run your mouth and you want to talk about missing children, because, you know, I'm going to tell you 9 out of 10 people on this app are running their mouth using a missing child. I think you should have to put your face on camera and use your real name. That's all I say. That's all I got to say about it. But that's what I just think you should. I mean, that's just me. That's just me. Everyone feels differently about putting themselves on camera. I do it just because I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like I get my point across better.
Their real name. That's one way to stop all of this baloney. And let's talk about Sebastian.
I don't know if they would stop
Rogers.
it.
Real briefly, I'm going to put up his poster here. He went missing on a Sunday night, Monday morning. I think was it February 22nd. Last seen publicly at a restaurant on that Sunday. And then he literally vanished. According to his mother was the only one home. Her husband, Sebastian's stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, the police have said that he was hours away at work. His father, Seth Rogers, was at work at a jail. He's on closed circuit television. The only one that was with him was his mother, Katie Proudfoot. Does
anybody find it odd that, and I don't know if anyone's heard that he does this frequently, but that Seth Rogers went to work an hour early that night? I'm just wondering. Because instead of being there at 7, I believe he said he got there at 6. Like he was in the garage at 6.
there isn't any witness that I'm
Patricia,
aware
thank
of
you. Mhm.
that can put Sebastian at his home after going to the restaurant. And that doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying this is what we have to work on. According to his mother, Katie Proudfoot, he went out without his shoes. And there we have it. That's it. That's what we have. But Steve, tell us whatever you can about Sebastian's case.
Well, first, I want to make clear that I'm not officially involved in the case, but being in this industry, it's certainly have learned a lot more about it. I have had several conversations with Chris, but I'm not, in the case officially. It's the strangest case I've ever seen in missing persons. It's totally gotten away from Sebastian. The talk is not about him anymore. There was a core group of people that were keeping it about Sebastian, and were, on the ground doing things. But for the majority, this is about the infighting and the rumors and accusations, and it's just totally, and now cease and desist letters.
We're going to talk all about that.
Yeah.
And again, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because and Insightful, and if you could please put Steve's Twitter in chat throughout the evening, I would appreciate it. If you do go to Twitter, it's SF_investigates. And Elon, it's Twitter. I refuse to call it that. That makes me mad. But that's one of the many reasons I wanted you to come on tonight to talk about Sebastian's case. We're calling it the Daily Drama Report, the DDR, because I've never seen anything like this. Closest I've seen is Summer Wells, but this is a lot worse. This is a lot worse than Summer Wells.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that. Let's kind of jump forward. I heard about the cease and desist, and I did a.
Okay, so for you guys that have been here for a while on the platform, like, sorry, I went to grab a drink. So you guys have been on the platform, and you guys were, here for the beginning of the Summer Wells case. I wasn't here for that. Is this case really that much worse? Because Summer Wells was a fiasco. Like, people getting fired from their jobs, people getting going on YouTube channels. I mean, I know it's like that, this one, but being paid to be on YouTube, starting their own pages and stuff like that. So I don't know. Let me know.
The live stream where I got very upset because in all of my time doing this, Steve, I've never heard of a parent demanding that people quit talking about their missing child.
And people,
good God almighty.
And people still talk about Summer Wells. Like, there are channels dedicated strictly to Summer Wells. I mean, we still see them for Kylie Rodney and stuff too.
I just want to say, I know YouTube creators and other people were saying horrible things about Seth. That's not right either.
Mm-hmm.
But that's separate. You can sue them for slander if it's written libel. Do that, but don't tell people to stop talking. And I want to say, our good friend Chloe, the private investigator who's been searching for Sebastian, doing it on her own time, not taking a penny for it. She got one of them, and she's been accused of things that are not true. And so I want to tell everybody, if you see anything out there about private investigator Chloe and it's negative, it's a lie, and it can be proven. It just makes me so angry. She got one of those. Talk about the cease and desist letter.
Well, so Chloe got the cease and desist. They originally said they let her go because she wanted to background check certain,
right,
which is 100% industry standard. When you're search and rescue, you are working under the authority of law enforcement. You are an arm of law enforcement. You're going on private property. You're getting intelligence briefings from law enforcement. They got to know who they're dealing with. And so Chloe wanted to background check people, and Seth very publicly came out and said, I didn't ask her to do that. I want anybody that will help to come out. And then he goes from that to cease and desist. Don't ever even say my kid's name again.
God almighty.
That's just a complete 180. Like, I don't see how you get from one to the other. So it just shows that there's something else going on. But what really bugs me about the cease and desist letters, and Chloe's the only person that I know personally that got one. I know other people got them. I don't know them. You know, I do know Chloe. Is that this lawyer signed under her bar card, signed these letters that did not cite any legal authority whatsoever in them of what the allegations were, what they had said. They need to stop under what, you know, she didn't cite any law. It was just stop. You can't tell somebody to stop saying somebody's name. And a missing persons case, when law enforcement comes out with a missing persons poster or an Amber Alert, it is a call to the public for help. They're saying, please, you know, we need the public's assistance in locating Sebastian Rogers. Like, you can't, and now he's saying everybody stop that for what reason? I mean,
that's a double-edged sword, though. You know what I mean? It really is. It really is. Because when you don't know what you're getting yourself into when you have like a missing child. You don't know how social media is going to take it. How, you know, I just feel like that's a double-edged sword in a way.
Makes zero sense. I don't know who's advising him initially. I guess maybe Tony, but the fact that the lawyer was willing to sign those,
like, I don't know. I could see me getting mad and doing that, like being like, don't talk about me or my child. But I think with this case, and I've said this before, people have like hooked into this case, in my opinion, because there's so many different like traumas in this case. I want to say, like, you know, different things that are like traumatic, and people in real life have those same traumas. So they're putting their own personal trauma into this case, and then they're getting their own feelings invested so like much so that it's tearing people apart left and right, and it shouldn't be. We should be out here just looking for Sebastian. Wienergate. Whose birthday was it? Happy birthday to me. It's not my birthday. Happy birthday, whoever's birthday it is.
Shocks me, and she should be ashamed if she's interfering in a missing persons case of a 15-year-old autistic boy.
And she should know the law enough to know that Seth and Sebastian are now considered public figures. We can talk about them. They can't stop us. They can't. Now, again, that doesn't mean go on and say anything you want. No, and that's a separate issue. But for this lawyer to send out this, knowing that, I mean, she's a lawyer.
Yeah,
it makes no sense to me.
And I was demanding, like, she demanded even more from Chloe than the YouTubers. I'm not going to say what, because that's Chloe. Right. But on what, you know, it's just mind-boggling that she's willing to put her reputation and law license on you know, and
is it true? I wonder if the cease and desist, and I mean, nobody's got to tell me I'm ain't got a, you know, foot in this game, but that they cost anywhere from $1,500 to like $9,000 or $6,000 to send out those cease and desist. I heard it was a pretty high amount.
And stamp those. It's shocking, and I don't understand.
Gosh, that's so nice.
It's
I take them to the store with me
because they really want people to it has to do with control. I feel it's Seth feeling like he's losing control of the narrative, right? Not getting invited on these shows because he's quite frankly turned it into a circus, and he's upset about that. You know.
Exactly. Insightful one. Can you tell us who Tony is? People are asking in chat. He was the spokesperson for Caleb Harris. Can you just give us just a little teeny, his last name, Tony?
Mathis.
Right.
Yes. And he's a friend of Caleb Harris's father, Randy. So he was doing PR or spokesperson for Caleb's family. And then now he's helping quote, Sebastian's family. And I also was told he was helping in the Harley Morris case.
Trying to.
And that's about it. And I have heard Tony on other live streams talking about why they sent out these cease and desists. And I'm like, okay, Tony, you're able to get up in the morning, you drive a car, you know, you talk to people, you dial phone numbers. How could you even think that this was the right thing to do?
Yeah, it's insane. Like, if he thinks there is 0.0% chance that law enforcement will deal with them or brief them on anything after that, after those. Yeah. They weren't before, they are not now. I can tell you that. They're just, I mean, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen on this case.
Me too. And I do want to say, a lot of people are saying that Tony was fired by Caleb Harris's family. Tony put out a statement, and I'm paraphrasing, saying, no, they just decided to part ways because Seth needed his help more at the moment than Caleb's family. So let's put that out there. The Caleb Harris's family has not come out and said they have fired Tony. So let's just stop that rumor right there. Okay, let's go back to the very beginning, Steve. Yeah. One thing that I found very shocking, excuse me, is when I first heard Chris and Katie Proudfoot on a live stream talking about the case. Chris Proudfoot so glibly and gleefully talked about hitting Sebastian with a belt.
So, what was I going to say now? Oh, man, I just slipped my mind. It was about the picture. Okay, so the picture that was taken in the Mexican restaurant with Katie and them. What if at that moment they were explaining to Faith something about Sebastian, maybe about him being gone. Maybe they were really talking about it, like in a deep conversation, trying to explain to their daughter what's going on, because she is staying with them for the summer. So she's going to be experiencing this stuff. So I'm sure at one point they did sit her down and talk to her about it. But what if they were doing that right during that meal and this lady or whoever is taking pictures of them? That's stalking. Following somebody to a restaurant and taking pictures of them is downright stalking. And I'm going to say that it was stalking because the person that got the picture is the same person that's on the YouTube or the Facebook page, the admin. That make sense, you know? Yeah, to old crows. My dad, I mean, he didn't use a belt because he knew better. I popped him one time. He told me to do it and I did it. But no, I never got to spank him before. But my dad tried to with my brother, and he fell on ice. He was like going to kick him in the butt. He said he was so mad he was going to kick him right in his butt, and he busted his. He said, "Never touch my kids ever again." Karma got me real quick. But I mean, people do belts. You know, they do. We have it on both sides. We have the child A on both sides here. So.
Time, and it was over the pants. Sad. When I heard that, I became infuriated. That's abuse. But he was fine with it. And I heard, and he kept going on these, all of these live streams. He eventually, I don't know if you saw this or not, Steve, but we had Chloe and Heather on, and then Chris and Seth came on, and it got very contentious. Yep. And, but I was shocked to see what Chris Proudfoot was doing. Now that is Sebastian's stepfather. What do you think about that?
Well, I'll tell you, I had a conversation with Chris about this, and I am not endorsing it at all. But I think him and Katie hit a point where you can only be accused literally of murdering your kid so many times before you just kind of unleash. And
I agree.
And the law enforcement has indicated there's nothing. So I get that part of it. And what Chris and I talked about was, you know, quite frankly, I'm not saying I agree with it at all, but he was very honest about it. And he said that happened one time like that. And we talked about, like, when I was in school, they used to have the paddles, you know, like the teachers would have the paddles like on the wall, you know, like it used to be right before my years, like, at least in Arizona. So I'm not saying it's right, but I don't think he was like beaten, you know. I think, you know, Chris is going to stand up for him and his wife, and you know, and Sebastian, and again, I will say, and I don't have any sides of that. I'm only concerned about Sebastian in the case, but I've had private conversations with him, and he's given me very, very truthful and accurate information, you know, and that's stuff that he does want people searching for Sebastian. He 100% does, and he's willing to share critical information if he trusts you and he knows that your tensions are real. So I understand he comes off abrupt. Again, I'm not here to defend that. He can do that himself, but you know, he was honest with me about it, and you know, so
no, and I understand what you're saying. I do. You're right. Like we said, you're going along in your life, and then boom, you're thrown into this.
Right.
But the problem was they gave such a bad impression.
It does, and I'll be honest, I don't think he's going to apologize for that.
Oh no,
I get it does, but I also, and I know you said you agree, but I get, like, there's some people that say that are just like
horrible.
Katie killed him and did this, and like there's just nothing to
horrible.
Or that Chris, like they've said, you know, people got to remember, it's not just even TBI that's involved in this case. The FBI is also involved in this case. They have done forensics on those vehicles, where exactly they were at exact times, and there's a lot of surveillance between here and Memphis, and you know, so you know, it's a lot like the Kylie Rodney case. Everybody thought, hey, you know, they're letting these kids run these interviews and stuff, but little did everybody know, because Sammy had said, hey, we'll do them in the trailer. They're allowed to bug the trailer if they have the owner's permission, and Kylie's grandfather was the owner, so they bugged that thing. It was a video and audio bugged, and all those kids, everything they told was on.
Wow,
was all evidence.
Right.
That's the first time I've ever disclosed that. But since the case is wrapped up, I don't mind it. But I mean, so they're actually a little smarter than people give them credit for. What they were doing was listening to real conversations that they thought were private, the kids thought were private, and they got a lot of good intelligence out of that. You know,
good.
Right. So
I think you got to believe them when they say, and they're not. I think, listen, you guys have been around this business as long as anybody. They're not. Law enforcement's not acting like they're not a suspect, but they kind of are. You know, they're acting like there's no suspects. You know,
but they've come out and said that Chris and Katie and Seth have cooperated 100%, and I want to stress, there's nothing to suggest that any of them have done anything wrong, and nobody is apologizing for anybody. What we're trying to do is present the truth of what is going on. Okay.
Yeah.
I told Chris Proudfoot to his face, I thought that was abusive what he did to Sebastian. That doesn't mean he had anything to do with the disappearance. Law enforcement has not even hinted that Seth and Chris and Katie have had anything to do with this. It just seems like the kid vanished, and it's so frustrating. But there is, like you said, there's all this stupid drama going around out there that is causing the problems. And Seth is making it worse with that damn cease and desist. And Tony said there's going to be more coming.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I mean, I know
agree. I'll be happy to DM them my address.
Exactly.
You know,
which one of you guys said the other night I was I was disappointed that I didn't get a cease and desist? I don't want one, but I just thought that was funny. Someone said that.
Just keep in mind, this all started where this really meltdown really began was with Seth getting rid of Chloe and Trevor. That's where it really accelerated the downfall. You know,
that's what started it. Exactly.
That was just such a bad idea. I mean, the two people that he truly needed, not that he needed, two people that Sebastian truly needed that were involved in this case, he cut loose because I don't know, because of Tony.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
is a art salesman. So
exactly, and again, I want to stress anybody out there that says, "Oh, Chloe leaked a phone call." No, she didn't. No, Chloe didn't leak information about Katie Proudfoot's mother. That was already out there a long time before Chloe even mentioned anything about paperwork with information. So quit blaming Chloe because she didn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've heard Seth say some awful things about her.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to a jealousy thing. I really do. I think that people out there understand that Chloe is, first of all, very, very talented investigator and search and rescue, and she's not going to back down to him. And I think that that makes him mad and it makes him jealous, and he wants the spotlight on him. The spotlight, Chloe intentionally does not put the spotlight on herself because she wants it on she wants it on Sebastian.
Yes, exactly.
And but Seth wants it all on him, and he wants to be running the show. And you can tell he's like, people are making money on these live streams and stuff. Well, you're the one going. You were going on them every single night, like up to 2 or 3, 4 in the morning.
Exactly. And you know what?
And I want to make it clear to everybody that I ain't making no thousands, not even hundreds. Okay, not even tens, thousands. Betty.
And guess what? When Nancy Grace talks about Sebastian, she makes money. This is what people.
You leave Nancy Grace alone. She's worth $25 million, and she's earned every million of it.
Do for a living. They talk about true crime. They talk about what's in the news.
Right.
A lot of people in chat are asking, and I'm curious as well. Steve, what do you think happened to Sebastian?
So I do a lot of autistic search and rescue stuff, and I have 2 certifications in it. 50% of autistic children will run away once before their 17th birthday. They become overstimulated. We even heard from his teachers, I believe, in the last few weeks, that he was seeking out like enclosed spaces. When autistic kids would get overstimulated, unfortunately they often seek out water. But he was going into closed places. I don't know if they're 100% true, but there's been stories that he may have been hiding under vehicles in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I think what happened was, something was wearing on him, and I think he became overstimulated, and I think he walked off. And and they stem, which is the movements and stuff. And so I think he walked off, and that it's much, much thicker now than it was, but still it's really easy to get caught up in that brush and in those trees. It is so thick. When I was there for the Riley String case a couple of weeks ago, I went out there one morning and I was shocked. I mean,
how come?
It is so thick. I mean, and really? I know it wasn't as thick when Sebastian went missing, but what these searchers like Chloe and her team are up against is brutal. I mean, it's hard.
I didn't even think about that.
I mean, it is. I flew a drone.
Because when Sebastian went missing, that was the end of February. So trees would have still been bare. I don't know how bare. I mean, I don't know if they were all the way bare, if there was a couple little leaves because it's Tennessee, but I would assume that there wouldn't be a lot of foliage yet. And now with it being summer, oh my Lordy, I didn't even think about that. Like all of the greenery, like the thickness of it, it would be a lot harder to search.
Drone over the top of it. And in fact, I put it on Twitter. You cannot see. It's a total canopy. You can very rarely get glimpses of the ground. So, it's really easy. Look, in search and rescue, listen, we miss people because, we hasty search, and which means we're looking for a live person. So we're covering area quickly and with about a 40% detection rate. But what we're banking on is the person's alive, and they'll maybe notice us. In other words, we're not grid searching. And if you go to that grid search, it's way more intensive and time intensive, and so it's really easy to miss somebody. Look at like Danielle Owens in Tennessee. I don't know if you remember that one. She was in a cornfield. It took it had been drone searched, and there she was, just a couple hundred yards away from the house. And the guy in Iowa, the trucker, just a few weeks ago, they found him. And it's often you find people close in areas that have been searched. I mean, it's not a perfect, it's search and rescue. Search and SAR/R, which is search and rescue recovery, is a more time intensive. That's when you're looking for remains, but I don't think they have that manpower available right now at county level to dedicate to this. And if they do, I don't think they'll do that till fall, to the trees are thinned down.
Fall, the leaves fall. Well, in the beginning, when Sebastian went missing, they did bring out a lot of power, didn't they? A lot of search power, right?
It was a huge response, and I commend them for that. It was a huge, well-run search, but they're not it's not all perfect. I guarantee, that is all private land there. And even though the county search teams, they don't have they can't, without a warrant, they can't go on those properties, So I guarantee there's pockets that haven't been searched, in especially that area to the north. I know that I had put out maps. I thought that was very likely area, and then I've talked to Chloe lately, and that's exactly where they were working. Not because of my maps, but they felt the same. She felt the same way. Like that. And I know, but with her team, even working day after day, like it's hard to get through that stuff, and so you can't cover a lot of ground even in a full day.
Right, and it's muggy and hot, and oh my! And plus, if you have dogs, you can't have them working too hard.
Those dogs, yeah, and also like, listen, most handlers aren't going to let their dogs go. I mean, these are like pricker bushes. These are, this is like nasty stuff. And when it's this thick, now when in the fall, it'll be a different story. But when it's this thick, handlers don't want their dogs like getting all caught up and everything. And so, but then it also becomes, okay, we got to think, it had to be, I don't think he's in a crazy hidden area. I think it's an area that was moderately difficult to get into, but now is really difficult. So, you don't need to be necessarily searching the impossible areas, because I don't think that was his intention. But I think, he could have hit some sort of small well or something that might not be documented, or who knows? It's and I listen. I just want to say to you, I hope I'm wrong. I hope somebody has him.
Wouldn't that be great? Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, that I would love to be wrong. Trust me. I just think it's been a very long time now, though, with a lot of publicity. And
I always go back to Elizabeth Smart. Salt Lake City. That's where I was from, and I participated in search. Everybody thought she was dead. Everybody thought Richard Reese killed her. Boom, she shows up with her kidnappers in the middle of
downtown. I mean, she was literally had been sleeping with those people in downtown for years.
She went to a party. They took her picture, but she had this veil mask thing on. Nobody recognized her. So
they're still talking about that case, Elizabeth Smart. 20 years later. I mean, kidnapped her from her home. Guy was working on the roof. Her sister saw it, but didn't say anything because she was afraid. I think she was going to get in trouble or something, or she was going to get kidnapped. I can't remember that part exactly, but how long was she gone? She was missing for over a year. They had her in cap and gown. You know what I mean? Like they had her all done up.
Wow. Anything is possible. And let's hope that something crazy like that happens.
And there is, you got to do the search and rescue because it's an option, but it doesn't mean that.
And I feel like this is the case where Sebastian could very much be alive, and he very much could be. And this case could end well, in that aspect. I really do.
You determine that he's deceased,
Right.
Listen, I guarantee, I know Sumner County and TBI and everybody's getting a lot of flack too. I guarantee there's a lot of hard investigation going on in those offices, like they're checking out every lead, but you gotta have search and rescue happening at the same time. So you're covering everything. Just because search and rescue is out there and we're talking about search and rescue doesn't mean that he's deceased.
Exactly. And Beth B, absolutely. Old wells can be very dangerous, and you may not even know they're out there. That's the thing.
And people dig stuff, like people got, like I'm driving around, a lot of those people got tractors and stuff. You never know what they dig holes for to get rid of, maybe garbage, whatever it may be. And you could have uncovered, stuff, and now you've had a grass canopy roll over it or something, and they just have missed him, but I think, listen, those cease and desist letters they can send as many as they want. I don't think you're going to get people like Chloe to quit. So I think there's searchers are still going to be out there. I think he's going to be found. The people are not quitting and because of Seth. Just not, my guess.
Or just the opposite, I think.
Not keeping him informed any longer.
Yeah.
But law enforcement's being kept informed.
They know what's going on. Exactly. Yeah. A question from Kelly J. But why would he leave in the middle of the night? And I want to add, without his shoes. It probably has something to do with him and his disability, correct?
Yeah, I mean, so autistic people that are on the spectrum have much less sensation to pain, and they also get very tunnel focused on things. If something could have overstimulated him and he was seeking out, a comfort. What worries me, and I know he's not in there because I know they drained that retention pond, is, when in search and rescue, like 84% of autistic kids that there's missions for will be found in or near water. I mean, it's incredible how they seek out water. And it worries me how that dog, that Max, went to the retention pond and went in.
Yeah. He did. That's right. There was a hit there.
But they
I don't get that. That's what I still don't get. I've been thinking about that and thinking about that 11-hour call, you know, where the dog, I think it's Max, I think his name is, but one of the dogs like jumps into the retention pond and they said, "Did you see footprints?" And he said, "Yeah, it looks like he buried his feet into like the sand or the mud or something." And to me, that sounds like somebody barefoot. You see their toes like burying into the, you know, and then like maybe jumping in, but there was no Sebastian in there. So it's like, what's that about?
Apparently, from what I understand, they essentially drained that.
They did. Yeah.
So, but it worries me. I don't know, and I don't, you know, it's something I haven't talked to Chris about. So I'm just speaking generalities. I don't know what his. Well, I've actually heard Seth say that he loves swimming.
Right, he loves water. Right.
That's worrisome. There's a lot of retention ponds in that area, and so he could have, you know, perceived something incorrectly. I think that there was, from what I understand, and I don't know this for certain, but there was talk of him potentially moving to Seth's place. I've heard from somebody very close to the situation that he like loved his teachers and his school, and I think that really stressed him out about potentially not having that. And also, you know, I'm not here to bag on Seth. I think he's made some horrible decisions, but I don't understand what that plan was going to be, because Seth works 12-hour shifts. And and he's told us over and over that Sebastian can't take care of himself. He's so dependent, but he was going to leave him for 12-hour shifts. And then I guess
I was thinking the same thing, Harlow. Autistic people, she said, can be less sensitive to pain, but they can also be hypersensitive to it. That is so true. I can take pain. My pain levels are very, very high. But if I'm in if my body is in a certain mood, I don't know how to explain it. I went and got a massage one time, and every time this woman touched me, it felt like I was dying a little inside. I don't know. It was torture. It was torture. The sensory overload was to the max, And I've gotten massages plenty of times, have been fine. But this time it was like, no, no, no. So I can understand the sensory overload. Now, the shoe thing, I mean, we've discussed that before. You know, what if he was having a nightmare? He woke up, had a nightmare, and he ran and bolted out. I don't know if I would wear my shoes or not in that situation.
I believe he's going to sleep 6 or 8 hours. So that means Sebastian's on his own for 18 hours, 19 hours a day, you know? So I don't, maybe that was stressing him out.
It could be. It absolutely could be. Yeah. Wims wants to know, do we know how highly functioning was Sebastian, or is Sebastian?
I've heard different, you know, like from what I've heard, I hear what Seth says, where he says that, you know, he seems to be pretty dependent, although he's going to leave. But from Chris, I mean, he seems like, you know, he's not at a 15-year-old level, but he's not at an 8-year-old level. You know, he's in school, he has friends, teachers. You see the videos of him laughing and playing and having fun. He's driving the whatever track backhoe thing or whatever it's called.
Right.
You know, about, so I mean, this isn't a kid that is completely, you know, dependent. So I think, and in 15, listen, he's at an odd age, you know. I mean, just for everybody, you know. So there's a lot going on, and then you throw in the autistic factor and the lack of fear and liking cocoon-like places and water, stuff to comfort them, can be a dangerous situation. You know.
Exactly. Real quickly, Marcy MS says, I just got here tonight. Are his parents no longer suspicious? His parents have never been under suspicion by law enforcement. According to law enforcement, they've always been cooperative. And Lynn Iron brings up a good point. Wasn't there a teenager that got stuck in a wall or a chimney a few years back? And do you know, Steve Fisher, if any abandoned homes are being searched?
I don't know. I about the homes. Before I went out for the Riley String case, there was a couple, I would call them like outbuildings. They're like, I guess, like mini barns maybe, that I noticed just on Google Earth, and they just look very appealing to me, you know, for an autistic kid, along with like tractors that are parked in the open thing. And I've talked to Chloe about those, and Chloe's like, they've searched ones that they've had. I think there's properties that they haven't yet had access to because of homeowners not being in town or whatever. But they, you know, there's just a lot of those, whatever you want, sheds. They're bigger than sheds, but whatever you want to call them. A lot of them to search, and you know, I think that those are prime places to find, you know, someone like this.
Mm-hmm. Good. Is it me or is she muted?
Yeah, I think she's muted.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog had a squeaky toy and it sucked out.
Okay.
Beth B said, I've read that Seth couldn't recognize the person that was taking out the trash too blurry. Now there is a video of somebody taking out the trash that Sunday night. Katie said it is Sebastian, but Seth said he couldn't recognize him. Have you heard that, Steve?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've heard, I've talked to Chris about that, and I think they're certain when I say they, I'm talking about law enforcement, that it is him. And I don't know exactly where I heard this. I don't know if it was in one of the briefings with law enforcement or if I heard it from Chris, but it's not just him, the shadowy figure going out, but then when it returns to the house, Sebastian's light goes on in his room.
Right.
So I think that's another good indicator. Listen, the dogs picked up the scent leaving the house, right? So if we're going to believe that, then we know that he had to come back to the house. I just think you got to believe that he made it back to the house,
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, he could have been many reasons why he took off without his shoes. I've heard a lot of people say he may have been running for his life. Maybe his mom was mad. I don't know. The police have not said that that's the case. Again,
the shoes is confusing.
Yeah, very confusing.
I don't know, but we also don't know. And I don't know if Chris possibly had old work boots or something in the garage that maybe that they don't even know aren't accounted for. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if they're even the same size foot. The shoes is confusing, but I can also see it, in the way that the scent line apparently goes, where it goes out the front door, down the fence line, back, and then across, that's all across the grass. And then, then it'll hit that road. And that construction site will be patted down, dirt. And keep in mind, people with autism have much less, their pain reception is much less than
different
other people. So he's not going to have the same, sense of pain that we might.
Exactly. Do you know if I've never heard of this, the Henderson Mounted Unit? I'm assuming that's law enforcement on horses. Do you know if they were called in?
I don't know if they were. I can't recall if I saw them in Riley's case or in Sebastian's. I know they were on one of them, but I don't know which one. So I hate to misspeak. But they brought out. Listen, there was definitely a mutual aid search. EMA put on a huge response, and they did a great job. I mean, and that's the thing with search and rescue is, it's once it's determined that the person or the target is couldn't be alive in that search zone anymore, they got to scale back. Or if they've searched it all, they've got to scale it back because these are, the resources got to go other places. So it's really frustrating, and people don't understand why search and rescue gets called off and stuff like that. But unfortunately, listen, being on search and rescue teams, it's heartbreaking to get that stand down call over the radio. It's like, oh man. Yes. But that's when it's important when people like Chloe and her team come in, and that's why I do not understand what Seth is doing to sabotage that. And Seth talks about how much search and stuff. I've personally never seen Seth on, I've never seen video of him searching or anything. I've seen him around the area, around areas, and I know that there was a couple staged ones that I know who filmed it, but he's got to let these people that are really dedicated, they're doing it for free, which is, let them, stop what he's doing and support them. And like they hopefully, I know they're continuing, hopefully they'll never report to him again. They should only, in my opinion, I hope they only report to law enforcement, but Seth should just leave them alone. They're trying to find his son.
Exactly.
And let them do their thing because they are his greatest asset. He might not realize it, but he's going to realize it. It's going to hit home when everything else is, because everything around him is, everybody's leaving.
Exactly. And I can, it's sad, but I feel like I can almost write this script, Steve. Yeah. And that is, at some point, Seth is going to look back and go, what was I thinking? I hear Seth, and I haven't heard Chris and Katie on for quite some time, but when they were coming on, it was all about them. It was all about Seth and how he was going through this horrible
coming on
time. And
sorry, this lady's like, they were always coming on. No, they weren't. They weren't always coming on.
Chris and Katie. And it's like, where is oh my God, what's Sebastian? What happened to him? Was he?
I'm going to tell you right now, I've only watched a couple interviews with Chris and Katie, but the one that I did watch with Queen Bee, I found out more in that one live than I knew the whole case before about Sebastian. They literally asked so many questions about what Sebastian liked, what his favorite things were to do, what his favorite food was, what he didn't like, things of that nature.
Going through, I'm so terrified to see being held. And I don't, again, you go along in your life and you just have a few people in your life and then boom, The internet just envelops you. And you have people telling you that they love you and they're sending you money and you're getting all this attention.
And you have spokespersons and, you know.
Exactly.
You're selling merchandise. You know, there's sites out there that he's got, you know, but in the end, it's all about, you know, listen, we're not hearing from law enforcement because they want no part of this.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, they hate this.
And, you know, they do want that search help. And like, I don't want to overstep, you know, anything, but listen, they respect those searchers that have stayed out of it and continue to search.
Right.
And those people are reporting to law enforcement now. They're not reporting to Seth or anybody else. And
that's right.
It doesn't matter what Seth says because they're working under the authority of law enforcement now. And it's, you know, they have their shot and they can say, we don't want you looking at my son's name. Doesn't matter. It's been a public call for a missing person, you know, and people and people that respond appropriately and with a call out from law enforcement are still doing their thing. And those are heroes in the case, you know, and well,
I agree. I want to address Jazz Doby in chat, who's been posting some things. Sebastian going missing has nothing to do with Seth. Well, here's the problem, Jazz. Seth has created this whirlwind of drama that is causing problems for the search for his son. And that's why we're talking about Seth. That's why we were talking about Chris and Katie in the beginning is, come on, hey, this is what I do, is we talk about everything surrounding the case. And because Seth and Tony have sent out these ridiculous letters that nobody that deals with missing children have ever seen before, he has created this discussion around him. Okay. And we talk about Sebastian all the time. We put up his picture, we put up the phone number. But again, this is created in the beginning. It was Chris and Katie Proudfoot that were stirring up all the drama. Now it's Seth and Tony. And it's something to discuss because it is so bizarre. So you certainly don't have to listen. You're welcome to stay, but please be polite to our guest. We don't allow anybody to be rude to our guests. So thank you very much. Anyway.
You know, what you were just saying is so right, because yes, Seth didn't have anything to do with Sebastian going missing, but he does have something to do with the effort for him to be found. And he's really turned away a lot of people. Like, you know, again, I don't want to overstep, but I'll give a little way. You know, when he made that just dumb move of getting rid of Chloe and telling them they can search, you know, I had put out on Twitter a couple weeks before that, like what I thought, you know, would be one way to approach this would be to put together a team of like 12 or, you know, or 8 to 10 additional people to what Chloe's already got now, which are professional people, and have everybody have SAR qualifications, be background checked, and go through everything you do if you're a member of the law enforcement team and get law enforcement's approval for that team to come in. But it would be a very expensive effort because I'm talking about bringing in like people, you know, kind of like an all-star team from around the country and people with canines and stuff. And you know, when I talked to Chloe about that, and that is not, I didn't give Chloe any idea. This not something Chloe wasn't already definitely thinking of, you know, and so I have you know, law enforcement, I believe, is good with that. But now, because of these cease and desist and people being turned off, I don't think the money could be raised for an effort like that, which would be, you know, all these people that really wanted to help find Sebastian and Daniel. I don't, you know, because it would be expensive. I mean, the searchers aren't paid or anything, but travel expenses and for the canines to come in and the lodging, it's going to be, you know, for 10 days, it's going to be $40,000, you know, and I don't think there's any chance of raising the money now to do a search, a true, like, with a big team for 10 straight days. I don't think that ability is there anymore because I think people are just over it with all the drama.
Exactly. All the drama that was brought in is just, again, causing the problems.
Yeah.
And it's too bad because they had such great support.
Yeah.
They're
a great team. I mean, you know, listen, you're not, you know, you're not, I mean, both Trevor and Chloe are just amazing at what they do. And
yes.
For them, and the way he went off on Trevor, oh my God, you know.
Yeah, and I was so confused, and I don't know if you even want to talk about this, but what happened? I thought Trevor was helping him, and then all of us, you know.
It sure seemed to me like it was, you know, it revolved around that recorded call, that's where it started, and that Chloe didn't have anything to do with that. I know that. I was involved. I had a copy of that call. I was asked my opinion on it if I thought it was a credible threat against Chloe. So I know. Listen, Seth's the one who leaked it. Let's just be honest. He even said that to Heather. He
gave it to a YouTuber.
Yes, and so he's the responsible one, and now he's trying to play it off. It just blows my mind. So anyway, he used that as an excuse when he was going off on Trevor, but it sure sounded to me like it was a lot more jealousy than anything. Like why are you getting this attention? Why are you at Chloe's house? Why are you? Like he was saying these crazy things that nothing to do with like he didn't have an argument like, hey, I want you on because you did this, or you leaked this, you did. It was just nonsense. It was like, hey boy, like I don't get it. And then the next day, Chloe's gone. And the other thing was that he went off on about was that they apparently like kind of give a heads up that they were going to get rid of Chloe, and he said he thought that was a really bad idea. And Tony got mad at him for sticking up for Chloe. Yeah. Chloe's the sharpest one that they've had ever will have on that team, and so it all. It all started crumbling down. It was already melting down, but when Tony came in, I don't understand. I wish Tony to this day would just tell us what is his plan. Like, what is the end goal? What are you trying? How are you trying to find him? Is this about having 2 a.m. chats with all women, or is this about finding Sebastian? Like, exactly. What is the plan? Like, put it out there. Like, there is a search and rescue plan on paper. It's like 55-page plan. I know that for a fact. What is his plan?
Right.
I don't get it at all.
A very good point. And what is the plan? And how about letting people that want to help? Yes.
But if they're going to be on people's property, or they're going to be dealing with law enforcement and intelligence, and if they need to be background checked. And,
absolutely. Absolutely. I did have a question from Marlene Clausen. Wanted to know how you became a private investigator. You've been doing it for quite a long time. How did all that start, Steve?
So it started in like 1999, I believe. I originally thought I wanted to get into aviation, and so I was a pilot, and I flew for the Attorney General's office in Texas for a while, and we would do I was flying the governor, and as a co-pilot with him, and we would fly search and rescue missions too. And then I started with another team there in Austin. We're flying. This is before thermal drones and everything, so we're flying fixed wing aircraft, and we were actually specializing in finding other aircraft or helicopters that had gone down, and so then the missing, it was kind of a progression of that. I was never on the ground. I was always, I was air sport. But then the case of Madeline McCann over in Portugal just like threw me in to, and so then that's when I, pursued, getting licensed. And I've also been in-house investigator for a couple law firms that specialize in like family law. That'd be more like parental abduction, so custodial, interference type stuff. But but it started with flying search and rescue.
Interesting. We got a couple of other questions here in chat that I would like to ask. So hang on just 1 second here. There's one here. Jazz Dobie says, please tell me what the Proudfoots or the Bower Soxes are doing. Well, we don't know. That doesn't mean they're not doing something,
So Bower Sox, I don't know. I've never spoken to, but Chris, I think Chris and Katie are a lot more involved than people think. There are people that talk to them. They're a great source of information. They encourage searching. Chris has been very helpful, and like when I've run search zones by him, what his thoughts are. If he knows the owner of it, he lets know. He's been extremely helpful. Just because he doesn't feel that, especially the way they've been treated, that he has to tell everybody everything. And I think
he's right.
That's definitely his right. Like they have donated a lot of money to put up billboards of their own money, and when the same group that arranged those billboards, asked Seth for if he wanted to put any money in from the GoFundMe, he said no. So they are doing stuff. And I'll tell you, I don't even know if I should say this, but they since that talk came out from Trev about the purchase of the weapon, they legitimately have some fear.
Back up, because you just saw the very confused look on my face, which is a face I make a lot. What weapon?
So I don't know if you're like on YouTube. Isn't there? Well, you're not monetized, right? I know that.
No, you're good.
You can say whatever you want. We're fine.
So Trev came out, and when there was the, there's been this drama where there's a female involved, and that T-Rev is now going out with, and he's moved to Tennessee, but apparently Seth, I don't know, thought he had a thing with. Anyway, T-Rev came out and said that Seth asked him to purchase a pistol for him, and he would buy it in cash from him.
Whoa. Okay.
And that's an illegal transfer, because you cannot, the person, even though you can do private party transfers in Tennessee without a background check, you can't have somebody go to a gun store and sign the form, and you have to check it saying that you're purchasing it for yourself. And if you already know that you have a buyer in advance, you can't. And it's like, why did he want a gun that was off the books? That's kind of scary. And so they took that as a threat, or they didn't take it as a threat. I shouldn't say they took it as a threat. They are concerned. And so I think they are, just watching their backs. And so I think that's why you saw them go dark. Listen, it is concerning. Why did he want a pistol? Why do you want T-Rev to buy him a pistol? And T-Rev said it over and over. I believe him. I do. I mean, I don't have any proof of it. And there, it was a phone conversation, so there's no, like text to show it. But it would be a crazy claim to make. It was a lie, and Seth hasn't come out and said it's a lie.
Right. Well, thank you for explaining that. See, I can't keep up.
I personally think T-Rev was talking about how much money he made. I think that's what it was. And Seth said, "Why don't you buy me one too?" Like I genuinely, I'm leaning towards more of, and it was in a joking way, just in maybe poor taste,
I know. Yeah.
We have a question from KCG.
I don't think he's
wants to know, is there any information about the reward money and the GoFundMe? I'm not even sure. I know Seth had a GoFundMe, but that was all I know.
Yeah, I know Seth has or had. When I know that when Tony came on, there was talk about setting up a trust. I haven't heard of that already done. I know there was supposedly, and this is just from what I've read, there was like $3,000 of reward money, but it was like promissory notes through an attorney.
3,500.
If you wanted to donate to the reward fund, you had to mail a check. You would only take a check and have you made out to this attorney in Nashville. And I don't know if there's a reward offer, and I don't believe in rewards personally myself, so I haven't followed it that much. But that's what I've heard. So.
How come you don't believe in rewards?
Because we already have such a problem when we have these cases. They become high profile. As investigators, the families get so many scam calls. Like, absolutely, I have your kid. If you don't send me $1,000 in the next, if you don't Western Union it, and it's always overseas. And listen, we know there's scams, but we still have to investigate it. It takes away from it, and it scares the hell out of families. Yeah, they just so bigger. And listen, you look at Adam Montgomery. They were in a motel room with some homeless people that knew that he was taking Harmony in a U-Haul somewhere.
Oh my God, that's right.
For $200,000, they didn't even come forward.
They didn't come forward. That's right.
They just don't work. And then when you go to collect them, it's like I had one. I collected one. There was a case that I found a person and they just happened to have a reward. So I filed a reward. It was through It was through one of the top 5 largest law enforcement agencies in the country, and it was $10,000. And so they came back to the lawyer and they said, the donor said they're not going to give the money anymore. And I was like, well, you never said it was a donor. You put it on your thing. So we actually had to negotiate it down to like half the amount. Of like,
oh, that's terrible.
You don't even know if they're there. And then it's like multiple people will claim it. I think if there's going to be a reward, it should only go through Crime Stoppers.
Right. That's the best way to handle it.
Crime Stoppers is great for everyone. Keep everything anonymous and the money's there. But then the families don't have to deal with these threats. But what it does is it becomes distracting because for the first 4 or 5 days, there's going to be these crazy claims that, they're going to be killed if you don't.
Exactly.
And families end up sending money.
Yeah, because they're panicked. They're scared to death. Sharon Marlowe said Seth said he has spent some of the money for flyers, and I have heard that, and that's great. I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
So
I agree. I always think with these GoFundMes, I have never once promoted a GoFundMe ever because I've just seen, I forget the name of the one in San Diego. I got so much hell over that, but it was a scam. But there's just so much that can go wrong. And if it doesn't get used for the right purposes, do people get too comfortable with the GoFundMe, as a income source? And it never seems to go. I do remember clearly, Seth, at least in one interview, talking about how this money was going to be used for search and stuff. And as far as I know, I don't think search ever got anything. Like, there's a lot of stuff you could use it for in search. I mean, there's equipment. There's, just safety equipment. They have all those retention ponds, and they have people, going through them boots. So people need safety gear, and I'm not knocking Seth for it. Listen, he can do what he wants with it, but also then he was directing everybody to his Cash App. It's like, how much money really came in?
Right.
And I heard him say the other day that he's spent $25,000 in gas in his truck since it started. That would be something like I don't know, a couple 100,000 miles on this, right? That's I don't see how he spent $25,000 in gas.
Right. No, I see what you're saying, and I know there are a couple of people in chat saying, "Why are you talking about Seth?" Seth is putting this out there.
Yeah, Seth has brought this to a screen.
You don't need to be driving to search.
Exactly.
There's no searching going on. I mean, there's some, but I mean, it's smaller scale. There's no call for people to come out anymore. There's nothing. It's like there's nothing going on.
Right. And again, we're not bashing anybody. We are talking about what Katie and Chris Proudfoot have said and what Seth has said, and this is affecting everything surrounding Sebastian. Yeah. That's why we're talking about it. So again, and we're trying to be as honest as possible. We're not making things up for drama. No, we need to talk about this, because if we don't, what's going to happen is people are going to go out and then on all these other channels where they'll just make up crap about people. And we don't want that.
Yeah, we got to, it's important, I think, just to get it out there and be like, this is where it stands. And then hopefully everybody can move to, okay, how do we support the search efforts, the legit search efforts, the ones that are accountable to law enforcement, and the ones that are, the legit ones. And if resources are going to be given, I think, and I'm not pitching a GoFundMe. There's nothing set up that I know of for that anyways, but if people are going to give, maybe start chatter about how do you get those resources to actual search efforts, because the kid needs to be found. When it comes down to it, and it's really tough conditions out there, and they need more people, and they need more canines, and they need the right equipment. And I definitely think this is an effort that Chloe should lead, but I think she needs the ability to bring in additional resources. And so
absolutely,
100% should be the team leader. She's been running it. She knows the area. She's been running searches. She's more than capable of leading it. But you need resources to do that.
Exactly. You need a lot of resources. And I'm just going to say, anybody in chat, if I see anybody saying anything rude, I'm going to kick them out. There'll be no more warnings or anything, because we are polite here. Do we understand?
I hate creators. I'm sorry. I hate creators that do that. So automatically Steve knows the chat is talking about him. Steve probably isn't even looking at the chat right now. You know what I mean? That's why you just block them and you keep going. You block them and you keep going. You don't say, because this is the second or third time she said this now. If people are not nice in the chat, then I'm just going to block you. Well, that's the second or third time you're giving people warnings. Steve's smiling.
So anyway,
he's like, oh gosh.
There was, I lost my train of thought here. Hang on just one second. Hold on here. Oh, real quick. I do want to ask you about Riley Strain. Did you have anything? Did you search for Riley at all? Are you familiar with his case?
Well, I'm the investigator in the case for his family. Yeah. So
let's talk about that. They don't. Last I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, they don't believe it was just an accident. They think there's something more to it, right, for Riley?
Yeah. So where we stand on that is there's a law firm involved in that, just for full disclosure. So, and I'm working under them. So I there's not much I can say. I can say I think a lot of people know I was in Tennessee. We were running tests at the site where we think he went in. I have done probably 15 or 18 witness interviews with key people, and we're waiting for the official autopsy to be released. There is somebody, coffin nuffers, claiming that autopsy has been released in the toxicology, and it has not been. And
misinformation. Yeah.
I will say that I, as an investigator, was given a copy of the toxicology, not the autopsy. Although I have a set of, I have, some photos, but I don't have any determinations. But I do have a copy of the toxicology, and what she's putting out there is not correct. But I'm also not saying that because I don't know this determination, because I got to see the autopsy. I'm not saying it's foul play either. People are correlating. Oh, well, he's saying that her saying that there's no drugs in the system means that it's foul play. You can have drugs in your system and not be foul play.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But what she's saying is incorrect. And the only reason I'm doing it is not to back her, is because there's no reason to put that misinformation out. And she is doubled and tripled down saying that law enforcement's been, the autopsy has been given to law enforcement. I spoke to the lead detective again today. They have not got it. We were hoping it was going to come out today. It'll probably be Monday or Tuesday, but we don't have any advanced copies besides the talks. And so what you're hearing is not accurate. And I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know why she does that. I don't understand. That's crazy. That just hurts.
And it's not right. And she when she finds out. So, but other than that, I can't. And listen,
I understand.
I always try to give as much information as I can because I think in these cases that it's really important. For especially when the person's still missing, for the information to be out there. But I was hired for a very specific purpose, which is to find out if this was an accident or not an accident. And I'm compiling the data. I'm collecting all the dots, but I can't connect dots, so I have them all. And there's still some pieces missing. But and I know that people are very, very frustrated with the silence. I get it because that family did an amazing job with public.
They really did. Riley Strain's family, absolutely incredible.
But they are like, we can't just talk for the sake of talking until, because they don't have, we're really like, there's a lot of stuff that, listen, I got new surveillance as of last week that had not been seen before.
Oh, wow.
So there's still new stuff coming in, but we can't, there's nothing to report. I do believe the family's going to talk when those answers are in, but until the autopsy is released, which is taking a lot longer than I think we anticipated, we can't really say about it.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you ever want to come on and come on our live stream, we can take care of the misinformation.
If they authorize it, I am, so that one I'm retained, and there's, like I said, the lawyers involved. So, that all has to be, I have to get authority to do that, but I'll just, say the family is not ghosting people. They're not like, oh, thanks for your help, now we're gone. It's just, we're waiting. And then I think that they want to talk, and they're grieving and they're hurting and miss him. And I've spoken to a lot of his friends, and including the fraternity brothers, and they miss him. And it's like, it's just, people are going through a lot,
It's, I mean, you look at his mom and him, great relationship. My God, it is so heartbreaking.
When I see her face on TV, it's just like, God, it's, I just can't imagine. And on the phone, you just hear it through the phone. It's just horrible. And everybody that I've talked to has just been like, this was an amazing kid,
Because he had such a great life ahead of him. That's what is so frustrating.
Yeah.
Real quick, Beth B has a good idea, and I don't know how it would be done, but I understand what you're saying. Beth B said, if law enforcement would select a search team, we could donate directly. There'd be a rush of donations. That's true. I don't know if law enforcement would do that, but that's a great idea, actually. But
it's kind of what I was talking about. Like, I would say that very well could happen. And like, if that team was put together, I would imagine Chloe would be the leader of that, and it would probably be with law enforcement's cooperation, I guess. Maybe I'd say see if Chloe has anything to say in the future. I'm not saying that there is anything. There's been discussions, I know, and law enforcement's been involved in those with her. She's leading a possible effort, but I would say if you're thinking about donating, see if anything comes of that. I don't know if it will. I don't know if it can be done right now.
Yeah, but it is a good idea. So thank you.
Yeah.
And Shiva's Girl says, I really like and admire our guest tonight. Thanks for being here. At Steve Fisher, SF__ investigates. Lee does have
hitting on him.
She what?
She's hitting on him, of course.
I know. We got to warn you about Shiva's Girl. She's a little out of control, but we love her. We love her. Lee does have a question about Riley Strain. Are you able to say if the fraternity brothers there that night have finally reached out to Riley's family yet? Can you talk about that or not?
I can say that I've interviewed several of them. I don't know if they've talked to we've kind of like created this kind of like Chinese wall where, because I'm getting a lot of information, the way it was decided to do is I'll compile it in a report and give it to the family. So I'm not giving it to the family in real time. So I'm not finding out if they're hearing from them, because I don't want to know. I don't want like those opinions or what so-and-so said, hearsay. So, but I can tell you that I have interviewed numerous or several of the fraternity brothers that were there.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a couple I'd like to talk to.
Okay,
but,
very good. Well, again, if we can help you get rid of the misinformation in any way for any of your cases, Steve, just please don't hesitate to reach out, because not only do we have this platform, we have websleuths.com, as you know.
Yes,
so,
and I would say three important, Vlad Castle, Layla Santinello, and Holland Snap are cases that I know that are on the WebSleuths platform as well. We're still looking for them, and anybody that can help or find anything, you know what I mean? Like, we'll listen to the help of people that that are genuine. And to answer that, does it go to Ellie or
Does the autopsy go to Ellie or the family first, or does Ellie get it and the family get it?
So we've asked about that. And I don't know the exact answer. I know that I'm in on the list as an investigator where I'll get one right away. And I know the detective will get one right away when it's released. I don't know if the family gets it at that time or if they get an advance call from the medical examiner, especially maybe in a higher profile case like this. I have a feeling they don't. I think it's, I mean, I can tell you, we do not know when it's coming out. Like a week, about a week and a half ago when I talked to the detective, he thought it was going to be out that week. And so it's, you know, the detective doesn't even know. So
Right.
I thought they would do a Friday drop of it, to be honest with you. I thought it would be out today. I was kind of shocked it wasn't. I think it will be out early next week. However, I know that because I know that if you remember, right while the search for Riley was going on, there was a body found in the Cumberland River.
Right.
And that, as of last week, that person's autopsy still was not complete either.
Oh, wow.
So
That's before Riley. Yeah.
So I don't think you can read into it like, oh, they must have found something or something. It's just they're backed up, you know.
Yeah.
Because once the toxicology comes back, then the pathologist who's done the autopsy has to document and write the report, and you know, they're pretty, you know, thorough, and there's a lot of them. You know, I mean, I think here in LA they said we average something like 40 bodies a day go through the coroner's office.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot of reports to write.
Damn, that's a lot. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Well, again, Steve, if there's anything we can do to help, in closing, is there anything you could offer that everybody listening live and then we'll be downloading this later to listen to? What can we do to help find Sebastian Rogers? And I'm going to put up his picture again.
I would say follow the lead of Chloe and of Trevor and of law enforcement. Those are your trusted sources in this case. Those are the people that know what's going on, that are truly working the case and with nothing but good intentions, and you know, get your answers from them. Like I said, I'm not part of this case. This is, you know, but I'm super proud of what Chloe has done, and Trevor, and the fact they're gone is heartbreaking. But follow with it, you know, follow them online and see what they do, and kind of follow that lead, I would say.
Okay, well, that's great advice. Steve, again, this was short notice. I really appreciate it. You helped clear up a lot tonight, and that means a great deal to us. Everybody, check out Steve Fisher on Twitter, SF_investigates. We're here for you, my friend. Anything you can do, you let us know, okay?
Thank you all.
Well, thank y'all. So that was SF Investigates. He's not working this case in particular, but he's worked a lot of other cases that we've covered on the channel. So I thought it'd be kind of a good idea to get his perspective of everything. So 3 Girls and a Cat, I did hear that Seth got disability, and I was feeling some type of way about that. You know, because your girl's over here made of metal. But I heard that he got short-term disability. I don't know if that's exactly true, but either way, you got the disability, you got the GoFundMe, that's a lot of funds rolling in. I don't know. And it's crazy that he got temporary disability to me. I'm sorry, that arm thing. I was rocking a no eyeball. I had nothing in my head for 4 months, and I was in a wheelchair for 6. Couldn't get nothing. My legs didn't even work. My arm didn't even work. Y'all know. Actually, I'll show you right here. This right here, all of these papers, these are all implants that I have in my body. Metal implants. All of these. So many. But, I have pictures down there. But I'm like, how is he getting disability? It's a big deal when you need it, though. It's a big deal when you needed it. Mine was 10 years ago. I mean, I still need disability probably, but I just pushed through it. When I worked outside the house, it was a lot worse. Yeah, many people can't get it. Got a broken back and couldn't. Yep. Richard, were you younger? Were you? I don't know how old you are now, but you know, like, because my mom said it was because of my age. Probably they're like, they think that you're just resilient and you're going to bounce back. But I mean, it's kind of hard to bounce back when you hit a tree going 120. Well, that was the impact. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That's a good. I'm gonna have to look into that short-term disability. Do you think that they would do that through the employer? Like that's something that the employer could do? Yeah, county worker probably is easier. I just like to bitch a little bit because you know, but it ain't about the money. You was 48. You don't just bounce back. You don't. I'm 38 now, and I'm like, what's going on? Why do I feel like I'm 88? Like really, I really do some days. I'm like, oh, I need my oil, to get my bones going, to get my joints going. But that was a couple things I wanted to show you about Sebastian. You know, I think that I have a feeling that over the next couple of weeks, if there aren't any shit stirs, if Seth and Tony stay off of the TikTok and they stay off of YouTube, which I don't really see that that happening, but if they do that, and then with Chris and Katie, you know, just doing their own thing, not talking, I feel like this case might settle down. And I just hope that it doesn't. I mean, I hope it settles down to the point where there's all this misinformation and all of that is just set aside. But I don't want this case to go cold to where nobody talks about it anymore and they just move on to the next. You know, like I don't want Sebastian just be another number, you know, another name, another playlist, because he's more than that. He's, you know, let's put his picture up right here. Let me show you who he is. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And I say that every time I say his name, I told you, ever since we started this case, I want to hear him say that. I know that they have a video of him somewhere when he was a little kid saying it. I think that would be the cutest thing to hear. My name is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Because I could just hear the Southern, like, you know, the Tennessee accent. But he's 15 years old. He's missing out of Sumner County, Hendersonville, Tennessee. He's 5'5", and he is 120 pounds approximately. I think his dad said he was a little bit young, a little bit lighter. That's why I put 110 in the description. Brown hair, brown eyes. He was last seen wearing, you know, black pants with the Adidas swipe down the side of that leg and a long sleeve black t-shirt. No shoes that we know of, unless he got a pair that we don't know about. If you have any information pertaining to Sebastian and his whereabouts, please call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Their number is 615-451-3838, or you call 1-800-TBI-FIND. And either one of those will do. And it'd be great if, you know, Sebastian's dad could get his, you know, birthday wish. Get his son back. Man. Really? You got it? When you had ankle surgery, 3 girls in a cat, I'm jealous. I think my problem was I had so many different, I have so many different doctors, because it's so many different parts, that I couldn't get one doctor to say I would be out for a year, but I was going to be out for a year. Like, I was like, y'all, it's been 10 years now. I've worked outside of my home, and I own a business now, so I do a lot. Squeaky wheel. Ert said, I'm getting old. When Squeaky Wheel said, you better get. There are people that do that make their own caskets. Have you measured for a casket? Made provisions for burial. Squeaky. That sounds like actually something that I would do. I'm a plan aheader though. Better start planning ahead. I actually talked about that the other day to Vincent. I was like, do you have a spot with your parents or anything? Like, or do we need to go get our own spot? I mean, hey, you never know. One shot. Yes. I wonder, so where you guys live, is Sebastian popular? Like is it popular within the towns that you guys live in? Like, I don't talk to anybody but you guys. I need to go around into the town and see what the townspeople say. We don't do funerals. I don't think I will either. My mom made a very good point when she said, if you can't see me when I'm alive, don't come looking at me when I'm dead. And I'm like, she made a point. Let's see. Well, it was really good to see you guys. Oh, I hear the cat. He's coming to the door. I bet you. I think I see a paw. I think I see a paw. He's ready. I have my dog over here, but you can't see her. Let me see. Yeah, you can't even see her. She's matching the bed she's in. Oh, thank you, Mary Beth, for gifting a membership. Who got it? Let me see. No, I don't see it. Oh, it's because I'm not even on my own chat. By the time I get back over there, I was trying to see if this account was somebody. No, it's not letting me back in. Oh, dang it. But thanks whoever got it. Oh, Susie got it. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was showing you my dog, but you can't really see her. Hey Mia. Mia. Hey. Hey Mia. She gone. Oh, there she is. There's an arm. She's sleepy. It's past her bedtime. She said that's so funny. Yeah, Harley Ryder. That's what my mom said. My mom was like, you just should just reapply. I think I'm going to try to apply again. I don't need like I'm not totally disabled. I feel like I'm just one of those people. I can stand up for 8 hours. But is it good for me? No. When I work outside my house, I had overworked hands to the point where they were like claws. They would just like go like just hook and they would get really red. And my spine doctor was like, I've never seen this in anybody so young. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, the most. So now I have a business here. I work from home and I own a boutique. So if you didn't know that about me, yeah, I own a boutique. It's called Poppy and Ari, and I usually have the link through Midnightbot. Oh, and mine was forever ago. I need to just reapply. I didn't appeal. I don't think I appealed. Yeah, I want to keep the healthcare that I'm on. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. I'm so grateful for it. My brother's 47 this year. Wow. That was the year. Wow, that was the year when my dad passed away. That seems so young. That's so young. 44 ain't old. Nothing. I've hit the age where there isn't anything that's old. There's no old number. Old numbers don't exist anymore to me. Just like clothing brands, put me in anything as long as it's soft and it's good material. You know, I'm at that point. I'm at that age where I'm just like, I'm comfortable with myself. You know, just comfortable. Gotta be. I mean, I still pick at stuff, you know, but I'm like, this is what God gave me to work with. And the good Lord don't give you what you can't handle. And I love your thing, Good Vibes, your picture. It's so pretty. And you go get it. They give you back. Oh, thank you, girl next door. I'm going to look into it because I need to. Oh, Richard, when I was told I was 37, when I was told that I couldn't fix the scoliosis that I didn't even know that I had in my back. Well, I knew that I had it, but nobody else would tell me that I had it, even though they were doing x-rays and stuff. So after you're 26, you can't reverse that. So now I have a bunch of curves in my back. When he told me you're too old, I said, don't you just shut your potty mouth, sir. Numbers are only numbers. Exactly. Wow. SG, been in disability for a while. 98. My mom was on disability. She didn't want to be. And most people don't want to be. I think all people that are disabled, that are really disabled and get disability, they don't want to be disabled. They'd much rather be out there doing something that they love to do. That, it just sucks. Have you been using the stuff, Mary Beth, the tanning lotion? It's good stuff. I keep looking around like I have it in here, but I'm going to jump off of here. It is 12 o'clock. Wow, we did a 2.5 hour live. But thank you guys all for coming in tonight. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow night. We're going to cover Chelsea Grimm. I'm going to go through her case file because I have like the whole FOIA request. We'll go through some videos, like the one of her being pulled over in the cemetery. I did reach out to SF to see if there's any information that he wanted to give me, anything that he could remember, because he did work on that case. And then I told him if not, I'll just go back and, we'll go through his past Twitter posts that we did like before of like the aerial views and stuff, because he has all of like that aerial coverage. And that was really good to see. So wasn't told until your 30s. Me too. That's what happened to me. That's exactly what happened to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And I knew I had it because my mom would always say like my shoulders go like they just do this. And she would say, Tanya, sit your shoulders back. And she would push them like, I don't know, they don't roll back like that. I'm like, Ma, they don't do that. And then she said, you're just being a hypochondriac. And I'm like, no, Mom, it doesn't, it hurt. It wasn't comfortable. But I try to stand up straight now. I try as much as I can. He's very interesting, CZ or CZ. That sounded like it was going to come out all wrong. But I hope you guys all have a good night. Tomorrow is Friday. I've been thinking today's been Friday. So hopefully you guys have a great Friday. Hopefully it's payday or something. You know, I love when people get paid on Fridays. I used to love it when I got paid on Fridays. You know, but thank you guys so much for spending a little bit of your evening with me. I do appreciate you guys. We will, like I said, we'll talk about Chelsea Grim tomorrow. If there's any case updates, I'll put them in pre-recorded videos. I'm going to try to start doing some more premieres with you guys. Even if I'm not in the actual premiere to chit chat with you, at least you guys will have that, you know, half hour or so. I'll try to make them a little longer of videos. That way you guys have that premiere. And tomorrow during the day, maybe we'll try to squeeze in a members live. If not, we'll get one in over the weekend because it's been a while since we've done one of those as well. So I will see you guys all tomorrow on the live. Have a good evening. Have a good evening. Sleep well, sleep tight. You know, and if I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend. Bye, guys.